So while I'm eating, I'm hearing fucking Ninetales and fucking Stardust, who I know have advocated for defunding the police inside of our own country.
Oh, are you kidding me? Don't ascribe that to me. Don't ascribe that to me. Don't ascribe that belief to me. Hell no, dude. You don't know me, okay?
So, welcome to the Primetime Royale. We have this every Saturday, 8 p.m. Eastern, or 8:30, or whenever we actually manage to start. It's always up in the air. But we have a wonderful group of guests here. So we'll start by introducing all of them. And then I'll also give you the guys the rules again. We'll roll on. All right, we'll start with Layman, how are you doing today? Thanks for coming through. Thanks for being here last week, in fact.
You're welcome. Hello, everybody. My name is Layman. You can find me on Twitter at the handle @lay_man_. I am very, very happy to be here. I'm very, very happy to be talking to everybody, as I always am, and I hope that you all enjoy me tonight. And that's all that I have to say.
Okay. Great. Thanks so much. Next we have our stowaway. Hello again. Biggs, thanks you for coming through, joining the conversation. Biggs, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great, man. Like I said, thanks for having me on. I got just like I said, I like chatting with people. I would kind of put myself as a libertarian centrist, I guess, kind of a little bit right on some things, a little bit left on other things. So I kind of like to come with an open mind. I really like to focus on actual solutions, not just arguing about what the problem is. I think we need to identify problems and then work to solve them. So I think that's great. And I think that these panels kind of give us an idea of what we can do. I know a lot of these people in these panels do stuff outside, especially I know we had Dylan here. He does a great job doing stuff in real life politics. So I think that this can be something we can turn into that. And I'm glad to be here. And thanks again very much.
Absolutely. Thanks so much. What's this? I'm looking in chat. Could you who check on this? In terms of the fundraiser, how's that going? Someone's telling me that we've made some progress already. Let's take a look. I'm gonna open up the page and see.
We already crossed the threshold. Someone donated $600. We got $500.
Awesome, everybody!
You guys are so amazing.
Every last one of you. Yeah, I mean, this is an amazing community. Every last one of you. Thank you. I don't even know what to say. I'm taken aback. Thank you.
Nice work, everyone. I'm really proud. I'm really, really, really proud of my audience for being so kind as to help out this very worthy cause. Yeah, so hopefully we've been a help to this family. And yeah, and again, if you can still help out, I'm sure they can still need some more support. So if you can help them out, that'd be fantastic. But thank you so much, every single one of you, for being so kind. Okay. Great. So moving forward, we have our Dark Lord and Savior, Doobie. Thank you for being so kind as to join us once again.
Thanks for having me. I am, for those of you who don't know me, I'm Doobie. I help run the Politics Discord server. It's the largest political Discord server on Discord. And I'm really happy to be here. If you want to find me, I'll put my link in chat. And I'm a nice person, I promise.
It's weird that you have to always remind us that and ask. And I was like, oh yeah, I really am. Yeah, I'm kind. Great. But yes, !DB in chat to get to the Politics Discord server. Thank you so much.
He's notoriously on the good boy list.
Notoriously. And then we'll stop right now with KOE. KOE, thank you once again for being here. KOE, tell
Yes. Folks, I am the quite humbled and happy to be here. Phil KOE, you can find me at KOE Nation on YouTube and on Twitch, and I am happy to be here with all of you beautiful people. Mwah, mwah, mwah. I kiss all of your souls 3 times, and we are here for the Prime K's Battle Royal, where we will see who goes over the top rope, and I am thrilled to be here. God bless every last one of you. And folks, it is time for the many in attendance and the thousands watching at home. Folks, are you ready? Let's get ready to rumble. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for being here. Every last one of you, God bless you, and let's get to this. KOE Nation, YouTube and Twitch, but most importantly, Prime K's on YouTube and Twitch. You know it's the right thing to do, folks. Thank you, and I yield back to you beautiful people.
Thank you so much. It's an experience every time. Okay. All right. Moving
How are
on.
your ears, Ninetales? Are they okay? Your ears okay?
I forgot to use the volume dial on my Yeti, so I just took my earphones off.
Okay.
Really got to do my boy KOE like that.
Yeah, right. All right, let's move on. Kyo-san, look, I'm sorry, you're going to disappoint compared to KOE, but try your best. Introduce yourself, please. Definitely disappointed.
Wait,
if you can't even hear you.
Sorry, you're muted. Yeah, you're muted.
But this whole miming thing, I guess, is quite helpful.
You're muted.
I think he's doing it on purpose.
Fuck, I was muted. All right, here we go. I can't believe you threw me out under the bus there, all right? But I'm going to try my best, all right? My name is Kyo-san. I'm a fucking Twitch politician. I'm the only one here on this conversation who's right? Based Australian, based union guy, right? I'm winning this shit for Dylan Burns, right? It's unjust what was done to him, and I couldn't believe it. I punched my chest like 30 times there.
Yeah, I know. It was like,
oh yeah.
I thought you just were like doing like a whole pantomiming thing, like oh,
No.
we're going that direction. No,
I'm just like a useless Twitch streamer, okay? Pro Twitch streamer.
Okay. Thank you so much for being here. All right, moving forward, we have Ninetales Cosmic Fox. Thanks for coming through. I think my stream is actually quite familiar with you. We have you here a bunch. Ninetales, tell the world about yourself.
Hi, I'm Ninetales. I'm on Twitter, www.twitter.com/M9Scarlet. It's the letter M, the number 9, and Scarlet with 2 T's. I just want to say thanks to the chat for all your support for KOE. I'm also a really fun person, as you can tell.
This is why we call her the saleswoman. All right, great. Thanks so much.
True.
Now,
Closer.
moving on, we will go to Redneck. Redneck, thanks for being here. Thanks for stopping by. And thanks for being here last night for all the stuff that happened there. Redneck, how are you doing today?
Fuck you. I'm fine. Fuck you. And fuck you. You're cool. Fuck you. You're cool. Fuck you. Y'all pick who those are, and the rest of y'all, fuck you. Trigger warning. Trigger fucking warning. Here it is. If you get offended, it'll happen. If you want to cancel me. If you want to flip me off, please do. Because tonight I'm going to say shit you fucking hate. Enjoy it, bitches. Here we come.
So brave. So brave.
Okay, wow. All right, so that's a good one. That helps compete with KOE. That's good. All right, we need more conservatives because obviously they know how to give an opening. Ninetales. Moving on. Stardust. Thanks for stopping by. Once again, Stardust again is also very familiar with the members of my community. She's been on hardcore these open panels, and we've been happy to have her. Stardust, tell us about yourself.
Hi, I'm Stardust, and Dylan Burns shouldn't have disagreed with me on my hot dog versus sandwich take. That's what you get, bitch. I love debate. My issues of focus are healthcare, women's issues, media, and politics, and deranged conversations. You can find me on YouTube and Twitch as STRDST. That's Stardust without the vowels because vowels are evil. And also, I am on Twitter as, again, STRDST_online. Thanks.
Okay. And last but certainly not least, a man who came in last minute to help fill a hole in our roster, but a man who definitely my audience knows. We have Titan, one of my illustrious mods. Titan, who has his own emote here on the channel. Everyone spam Titan's emote. That'd be awfully kind of you. But Titan, thank you for being so kind as to drop by, help us out, and just be a part of all this. How you doing, Titan?
Hey everybody, I'm Titan. I'm a nice guy just like Doobie, and that's all you need to know.
All right. Sure. That bodes well for us all. Following Doobie's footsteps, great. So, all right, we're getting started right now. Again, sorry for the massive delay. To my audience and to my panelists, thank you for being so kind as to wait and be so patient. So we're gonna jump into this. All right. Topic 1. It's always tough because like I never put these in order, right? I have to like fill out the room. So I think this might be a good one, especially with the individuals we have gathered here right now. So, can leftists who constantly criticize America's past injustices be true patriots? All right, 45 minutes left on the clock. Jump on in.
All right, so I want to start.
The errors of any nation is actually a very true patriot. So people, whether you're on the left or the right, if you point out the errors of any nation, that is one of your patriotic duties, is to try and if your nation makes a mistake, it is one of your first patriotic duties to try and correct the mistake. You don't just double down on the mistake. And so people on the left, the right, anyone that criticizes their nation, yes, they're absolutely capable of being a patriot. So, but let's be frank, there's few folks in this world quite as patriotic as your King of Extreme Phil KOE. But I understand, but we can all hope to strive. But so that's my first take. Wash me in your judgment, internet.
Yeah, I would say that like patriotism, a lot of people seem to think that loving your country means that you think everything about that country is good. And I think that that's a very unhealthy like interpretation of what it means to love somebody's country. I think if you love something, the best thing that you can do for that thing is to acknowledge its flaws and push it in a direction or encourage it to incentivize it to go into a direction that actually improves upon those flaws. And yeah, I think that that's very, very patriotic. I would agree completely with what KOE said.
Yeah, I don't think they're mutually exclusive. Like, it's a form of political power. And so leftists are going to need political power. You see that, like, as you become more leftist, as people become more leftist, they tend to criticize this form of political power more. And I think that's really key. And a lot of pathways to leftism are stifled by this. However, I'm not going to put a false dichotomy here. Good. You can use it as a vehicle to get to your goals. The Irish Republicans, for example, used it as a way to push back on British imperialism because they were essentially socialists. And that's what made the country more socialist than what the British Empire wanted it to be. As far as I understand, I'm not like completely...
They're civic nationalists who are socialists. That's what the Irish Republicans are.
But either way, the point is that that as leftists, they use nationalism as a vehicle to get to their goals.
Yeah,
and push
back on
something
they
believe
in.
Like, very, very cringe, by the way. So nationalism specifically advocates for the advancement of one's country's interests at the cost of other countries' interests. This is part of the reason why I don't care like who can be a patriot.
I think that
nationalism
necessarily is equated to.
I really want to respond to this. I think this is getting really loaded. There's a lot of different kinds of nationalism, and you're gonna have to.
I'm very well aware. I've read Ernest Renan's paper. Ernest Renan was one of the first theorists on this, and I'm well aware of Renan's work.
Okay,
and every work is
I think that anybody that wants to improve their country can be a. I know you're going to take a long time, Redneck. Let me just get it real quick. Let me get it. So anybody that wants to improve their country.
Okay, so let him Biggs first, and we will go to you, Redneck, please.
All right, so I think anybody that wants to improve their country can be considered a patriot. I think the only difference between whether you're right or left is just your ideal of what actually achieves that goal. And I think together we need to kind of find the best possible outcomes and then work for the policies that achieve those outcomes. And I think we need a lot more working across the aisle. And I know it's very partisan right now, but I think that's part of the problem we have in the higher levels of government. But at lower levels of government, I think we have a lot more ability to work on things like that. And I think that's where we need to focus on and build up from the ground up. And hopefully we'll eventually get to a point where we can have the federal government be able to work together on things.
If I can just object quick here, I just one real quick thing is patriot and nationalist, we have two different words for those things, so they clearly do label two different things. So
do you not think that they have like very significant Venn diagrams that overlaps?
They're not the same thing, but they have. But they're
is not quite correct. So anyway, I'm sorry.
Guys,
I think we're
getting away from the question.
Get back to it, Redneck, please.
I mean, literally, if y'all want me to start this whole yelling and being a dickhead role, we can do it now. I actually was raising my hand and was ready to speak on this. So look, there's patriotism and there's nationalism. They are two separate things. And I agree with the take that anyone can be patriotic. I just don't believe that the current left and their philosophy can, and their ideology. And here's one example I'll give you. They always look outside of their own to take care of first because they don't want to address with the failures of their own situations. Case in point, our administration just passed a shit ton of money to go towards putting illegal immigrants in hotels. Yet how many of my disabled veteran or veterans are still sitting on the streets without a home? It's just for the narrative. It's just for that power grab. As even Ninetail says, oh, well, we can't do it unless we have power.
Until we solve other problems?
The fucking power, the power that you want is to just give to others instead of to the country first. And that, to me, if you can take care of your family first, then you can help others. That's what I think patriotism is. And that's how
can you substantiate that part where you said where they just want power so they can hand it to other people? Like, I don't understand.
You
how
just
you
said
know
that. You said that we need political power. You said left.
No, but I didn't say it was to hand to other people. I want you to elaborate on that.
I just did.
Elaborate on the second part. I didn't say the second part, so elaborate.
The more power that the left movement gets, the more fuckery about happens, and nothing happens internally.
Explain what that means.
What was done in the last 4 years for homeless veterans? I'm curious.
So VA Choice became available, right? And we also had more and more reaching out, and the resources were made available. And also those people that were not doing their jobs were able to be fired. So just those three things alone that I directly know changed the VA system as a whole. So that's what I know happened.
But
female veterans still get subpar healthcare, though.
Everybody thinks that they're
Choice Act was passed in 2014. Wait, is there something different about
it? Let's go to Biggs and then DB.
So I think that the issue is that everybody in their own mind thinks that they're the hero. It's the hero bias. So like we do have people that they want to help people, and I do believe in Redneck. I think that you do have some points with being focusing on at home is good, but I think that the people on the left and the people on the right genuinely believe that they are trying to help improve people's lives. Now, whether we agree or disagree of what's actually occurring, that's what we need to focus on. And I do think that anybody can be patriotic if they're trying to improve the country, but I think we need to focus on, okay, what's your idea? Is it is it going to achieve the goal that we want? And then two, is it feasible? And if it's feasible and can achieve the goal we want, I think we should strive to do that, whether it's a leftist ideal or a right ideal.
Wait, to be clear, something from before, right? That VA choice bill was signed in 2014 by Obama. Like, Trump was lying about passing that bill into choice. There's several news articles about it. Took you 2 seconds to Google
I'm telling you, are you okay, I'm a U.S. disabled veteran. I'm in the fucking system. It did change.
That doesn't mean you know about when the bill was passed.
I think. Wait.
If you want to go down this path with me, I'll fucking talk all night about it.
I will. Let's do it.
It did change.
I'd really like to ask you a
question. It did fucking change.
DB. When did it change? When?
DB.
Nothing's been done on it since 2014.
There's a lag. There's a time lag.
Let's try DB, and then we'll go to Layman.
So you were asked what has been done for homeless veterans in the last 4 years, right? And you said, a VA choice was passed, which apparently that's not true. People who weren't doing the jobs were fired at the VA, and resources were made available at the VA. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think the VA deals directly with homeless veterans and trying to get them off the streets and getting them into homes. So how did that at all?
They do. They actually do work through the VA system.
Okay, so can you tell me, give me some examples of how resources were made available, who was fired, and how did that lead to people getting taken off the streets? Because I'm pretty sure the problem of homeless veterans, the last time I looked at the numbers, actually that problem was actually exacerbated under Trump's term. Right, so I'm just trying to understand how these two things are connected, and why it seems you're concerned about this issue now. It's apparently a massive issue now. It is a massive issue. Why does it seem that you're now giving Trump the pass when he was in power for 4 years?
I'm not. So again, you guys want to narrate everything I say down to the thing, down to the infinite. And I'll go here with y'all. I gave an example of the current left ideology, the progressive left ideology, and why patriotism and nationalism are two separate things. And I tried to show you how just the one thing that we're willing to help others that aren't even part of our home. I'm getting there, Doobie. All right, relax. I use the VA analogy that we don't even help homeless veterans. When Trump took office, he literally passed an executive order that, and it went into law, I believe, with the legislative branch on the actual being able to fire VA employees. That in itself changed the whole policy of having our waiting periods last fucking forever. They were actually held accountable to have to do their jobs. So if you want me to look up every case of somebody that was fired, I could go and start looking that up. And then the second part of that correlation to how it's going to help other veterans get into homes, if the veteran has to go to a local VA hospital to get a referral, whether it's psychiatric, mental, physical, whatever those disabilities are, that veteran has to be seen. Then that veteran is referred to the housing divisions and or put up inside of one of the homes in the VA administration. The homes, the healthcare, all of it is ran through the VA, not the DOD, the VA. And then on your other part of the question you asked, can I give you more example? I will do research if you want to break this down case by case, but the bigger issue is the mental health aspect of it. Yes, a ton of more mental health veterans have come about during Trump's days. Clearly, we only had 4,400 psychiatrists available during the second Gulf War. When it kicked off, there was only 4,400 health professionals in the whole VA, and yet you had 1.2 million veterans suffering from some type of mental illness over the 10-year swath that they were in and or in those battles. So those numbers are increasing because those people are now suffering just as much as the Vietnam veterans did for 10 to 15 years, and then they started coming into the system because you finally get tired of facing your pride. Majority of veterans have a pride issue when it comes to getting the help, especially for the stigmatism of mental health, because it makes you look weak and it makes them feel like they're insufficient. And that is, I could go down into the numbers if you want to go into that, Doobie.
Okay, so I'm going to accept all of that. I'm going to accept all that is totally true. But even if that were the case, how does making hotels available to immigrants, illegal or illegal, or refugees, or whatever the fuck, how does that take any resources away from the VA and their outreach?
Why are they not being applied to the VA first to help with our, like you said, bigger situations that I feel that we should focus on family first? If our government and the current left ideology is not to respect the veteran, and yet they're willing to respect the immigrant. That's my problem. That's why I find patriotism different.
One second. Finish your point, Doobie, and then we'll move on.
So what you're saying is, in fact, is that you seem to believe that the U.S. government can only handle one problem at a time, and until a single problem is finished, it can't move on to another problem because, hey, then why aren't you doing?
No, dude, that's not what I said. I'm saying that patriotism is I'm saying.
Shut the fuck up. You're implying here that the government can do two things at once. That's what it's doing right now, right? You seem to have a problem with that, right? So I'm asking, do you think that we should maybe handle child healthcare problems or fucking children on the street before we deal with veterans on the street? Should we fix that problem first?
I'm sitting here going,
why do veterans get the priority over every other group in this country that needs help?
Because they fought for you to have these choices.
They fought for us to have these choices, and many of them.
Okay, dude, let's play your fucking game. Guess what? Every senator and congressman gets paid. They get paid $174,000 a year, and they get their health care for the rest of their life. Keep talking your shit. Fucking, I don't give a fuck. Lefties, if they want to be patriotic, you focus at home first. That's where I'm at. And that was the example I gave.
So we got to move on.
Oh, look, patriotism and nationalism don't overlap at all. What a curious little note there.
Let's go to Layman. Layman, Stardust, and Ninetales. Go ahead. And then
I'm a little lost in all of that. What just happened there? So the conversation seems about whether or not like leftists like can be patriotic. And Redneck, you alluded to the fact that they're not, and that the entire ideology, whatever the collective ideology of the left is, because it's
no. I said.
Wait.
Let me
finish.
I agree with Big's take on it. That everybody can.
That everybody. Yeah. Okay.
Everybody
I know.
On both right and left. But I said the current leftist ideology is not.
Okay, what I'm trying to figure out, so I want to know what that is. What is the current leftist ideology that's not? And then I want to know, and then I want like some examples basically, because I'm really fucking lost.
Taking care of others before taking care of self. They're always worried about the pieces of, again, I said there's patriotism and nationalism.
Redneck. That is really, really vague. You have to. There's nothing concrete about you saying that.
I think they rank.
I gave an example.
Veterans. I gave an example
like that. Then why would they all of a sudden come up with $86 million?
Redneck. They want everybody to be helped. They really do. I really think they do. I'm more conservative than most of these people on the panel, aside from you probably. But I think that everybody wants to help people. It's just a matter of, you thinking that one group should be prioritized because they're veterans. Because I do agree that veterans do hold a high threshold of security that we need to establish from this country. But I also think that we can help other people along with those veterans. I don't think it's mutually.
Let's take veterans out and just make it kids. Since kids under 18 make up over 40% of the homeless population, why haven't the social policies fixed that problem before trying to fix immigrant problems who aren't part of America?
This may be the biggest.
Wait. I want to clarify something.
Where's the patriotism?
So to be clear, the American Rescue Act, pretty clearly, $14.5 billion for COVID-19 related healthcare, $1 billion for debt, for co-payments or cost sharing that veterans paid for VA healthcare, $750 million for both construction grants, $500 million in payments, $250 million to state homes to greatly improve the living conditions of our most vulnerable veterans, $386 million to initiate a COVID-19 veteran rapid retraining assistance program that provides up to 12 months of training and employment assistance to unemployed veterans, $262 million to reduce the backlog in compensation and pension claims from veterans, $100 million to facilitate the modernization of the VA's badly integrated supply chain system, $80 million to establish the Department of Veteran Affairs Employment Leave Fund, which provides leave for pays for the COVID-19 related causes, $10 million to decrease the Board of Veteran Appeals for hearing requests and intake so it helps veterans economically in resolving their VA appeals. The American Rescue Act had a fuck ton of money there for veterans. So why would you make that comparison?
For what? For what? What'd you say? For what?
The American Rescue Plan that you just mentioned.
Because does any of it say fucking housing in a hotel for somebody that's fucking not in a home right now?
Yeah,
no.
They gave a couple of million to fucking immigrants and they gave literal billions.
Get the fuck out of here with your bullshit, Aussie.
Literal billions to veterans.
Australian
literal billions to veterans. Billions to veterans, and you just bold-faced lied about it.
We gotta move on.
Bullshit.
We gotta move on.
Bullshit. Is it implemented?
We gotta move on.
They passed 86 fucking million to put kids from the border and people in the hotels?
Holy shit.
Get the fuck out of here.
I will start muting people. Stardust, go ahead.
That's the problem right there. Leftists. They worry about anything else. That's a 3 to 5 year window.
Oh, shit. Okay, I will mute you if I have to.
I was talking about veteran cash that was assigned to them.
Okay.
You just didn't bother to read the bill and got mad about brown people getting money.
I'm muting. I got you now.
All right. Thank you. I appreciate it. To go back to the original question, and I will revisit this topic that they are so heated about. To go back to the original question, can leftists who constantly criticize America's past injustices be true patriots? I think that being able to question and criticize your country without repercussions being enacted on you is not only privilege and patriotic, but I think it's a duty. I think if you're not willing to go out and criticize your country and criticize the things that we do and the things that we have done in the past, then you're a spineless coward, basically. I would argue that people who like, let's say, hang Confederate flags in their homes are actually unpatriotic, because guess what? That was pretty fucking bad. Those were traitors to the country. They literally wanted to secede. Secondly, regarding the VA, yes, there needs to be improvements. I think there was a really good piece written about how female veterans actually get subpar healthcare, and I think that's something that we need to fix. As far as this $86 million on hotel rooms for immigrants, this is still a better system than splitting up families and putting children in cages, because this is literally $86 million used to house families. I would rather have $86 million spent on hotel rooms, which we're not sending them to like top of the line, like 5-star hotels. We're sending them to hotel rooms to be with their families, and also to comply with quarantine guidelines as far as COVID-19 goes. There are specific COVID-19 guidelines every state has. So yes, they have to use hotel rooms. Yes, they have to quarantine.
All right, so then we'll go to Nine Tails. After that, I'll mute I'll mute you. So go ahead.
Oh, a lot of what I wanted to say has already been said, so I'm just going to point out what I meant about nationalism being a political power. When we talk about like populism and stuff like that, we can like reach out to people's form of populism. We can win people over by saying, hey, here's what's wrong with the country and here's what we can do about it. I think the left is not utilizing this enough. I think that is one of the biggest blind spots of the left, is that we say, hey, this is problematic. People use this to nefarious ends. Therefore, we can't use this at all. We need to consider that just because it's being used to nefarious ends doesn't mean we will too. And so therefore, there is still utility in it.
Okay. I'll go to KOE, but while I do that, I'll also unmute Redneck. So KOE, I think you had your hand up previously.
Oh, thank you. I was just saying, in regards to, we had this debate on the VA, and to me, it's one of the reasons why it is best to be anti-war, because if you're anti-war, you are the most for the troops, because you say, bring them home. And so we don't have to have these massive problems like we do, because yes, it is a hell of a problem having to administer all of this care to veterans of foreign wars, because it's a big issue when we go to war. There's a lot of healthcare issues that are related to going to war. And so that's why, again, when you find yourself being anti-war, you find yourself more often than not being quite logically consistent. But also there's something that I wanted to bring up, and we've heard kind of an odd implication on either side of this of, well, why are we spending money on immigrant children crossing the border? Why are we spending money on veterans? And why are we doing... And I have to remind everybody on the panel that everyone that we're talking about, every last one of them is still children of God, every last one of them. And so we need to try and give our compassion as much as we can to everybody. And yes, there are some shitty situations. Nirvana is not for this world. We're not going to find perfection. And yes, even the crisis that we have at the border, the reason we're doing it is because it implies that there are worse choices that we could do. And yes, we absolutely need to take better care of our veterans. God damn, you are absolutely correct, every one of you. And also, one last thing, Stardust, you're talking about hanging Confederate flags and such. That's actually one of the reasons why Tyler is my least favorite president. He actually, after his presidential term, he served in the Confederate Congress, and that's why I'm doing a presidential toast series, and that one's going to be tough. Yeah, that one's going to be tough.
It's worth pointing out. It's worth pointing out that, like, it's worth pointing out that we have a topic later, which is should the U.S. be involved in like spreading democracy and freedom and stuff like that?
What are you doing?
Am I supposed to? Sorry, Prime, was that bad?
Yeah, don't worry about that. Yes, yeah, continue on. But
can I say really quickly though? I'm sorry.
Well, I'm not done, Doobie. I'm not done. Just let me finish. Come on.
I need to get this
seriously. No, I know you can go after me. It's fine. And so like. I think for leftists, we can't have it both ways. We literally can't be the arbiter of peace around the world without first making our home origin like leftist first. Like what are we doing if we're like focusing beyond where we already are? Like this is why we need grassroots activism before any of this matters.
Go ahead, DB.
So yeah, KOE is going about how these are like the children of God and yada yada yada, all that bullshit.
We all are, every one of us.
Every
one of us on this panel.
I don't care.
You, me, all of us.
He's
and
right.
all the people you're about to talk shit about, they're all children of God, every one of them.
Doesn't make it more true, right? So I don't give a fuck about these children. We don't know them.
But
anything.
it is true.
I think that we should send them back over the border, back to where they came from. Right? Just saying that, because these are the children of God, we owe them something. We should bring them into this country, spend money on them. No, fuck that. If they're
we don't owe them cruelty.
No, listen. If
Jesus,
there's
man.
I'm not saying we owe them cruelty. I'm saying if they're no benefit to us, we should send them back home. That's it.
Immigration is immigration.
We've
is
committed a
for the
crime.
economy, right?
My opinion is we've committed a crime. One of the most egregious crimes, in my opinion, is keeping children in cages where they're getting, by the way, over 1,000 cases of sexual assault at those detention centers. So no, I'm not okay with keeping them there. The least we can do is keep them in hotel rooms while we decide on their asylum status.
Definitely.
Yeah, it's terrible. Like I said in the last panel, it's a modern day Othello. It is a tragedy no matter which direction you look at it.
Doobie, allowing immigrants to grow up in the United States would ensure that they integrate into the United States, and then they can contribute to the economy and all that stuff, and we can get the actual like benefits that people get from immigration from that. So
do we have
the whole point about the whole point about
Wait, let
Doobie
respond, and then we'll go to you, Redneck. Okay, let Doobie respond.
Do we have a shortage of unadopted children in the United States? I think the foster care system in the U.S. is pretty flooded right now. Right? So I don't. Yeah, maybe yes. If we were to bring more children, yes, they'd be raised in the United States, their values, and yada yada yada. Right? We have plenty of children here to deal with already. I don't think we owe anything to these other children. Send them back home. Fuck them.
When we literally allowed them to have sexual assault committed to them, I think we do owe something to them.
No, I don't think so. I think that's a tragedy. It wouldn't have happened if we just sent them back in the first place. And I think right now we should just send them back. Right? There's plenty of sexual assault in the foster care system. There's no reason for us to have them in cages. I agree, but there's no reason for them to be here. Send them back fucking home.
Go ahead.
Are you implying that America can't afford to help these people?
I'm saying that we have no reason to help these people. Fuck them.
Wait, so how are you so entitled to what America has and nobody else was? Just because of some random arbitrary borders? Yeah, but these are arbitrary borders we're referring to.
People who come into the US, especially illegal immigrants, are some of the most patriotic motherfuckers on God, right? Because like, what you're literally like risking like your life to cross a border. You're risking being arrested just so you can be part of America, right? I think their placement's misguided, right? Fuck the US. Everyone in chat could get turbo mad, right? I'd rather they came to Australia. We'd welcome them with open arms, right? I don't know why they're risking their lives.
I don't know about that. Australia's not like the most pro-immigration place.
Absolutely.
Okay.
It actually is the most immigration place according to
Poland. By those
really?
fucking killer bears, those killer drop bears, man. You got
the last thing we want for them is to be on a ship. To be honest, we don't want them going across seas on ships. That's just really bad news.
I'm curious if our friend Joe the Sleuthers actually agree with you, Kyosan, on that one, especially with what's happening on, was it Christmas Island or what it is?
Christmas Island is a terrible tragedy. The government is mishandling it. The Australian people are incredibly in favor of immigration. The only nation on earth who has comparable levels of favor towards immigrants is Canada.
Go ahead. Sorry, hon. Go ahead, Redneck.
I was thinking.
Go ahead, Redneck. We have Redneck. You wanted to say something previously. I want to make sure you have space.
Yeah. I mean, the whole point was being missed because the question that everybody was saying: can leftists continually trash America, be patriots? And now it's devolved into the VA because I used an example. I just want to circle it back and make sure everybody's clear. I agree that no matter if you're far left or far right, and I mean, even if you want to say Antifa, far left, and freaking nationalist, white supremacist, whatever the fuck you want to say are the worst on either side, sometimes, they feel what they're doing is patriotic, right? So that's that problem we have with nationalism, patriotism, and defining those narratives. And when you talked about the Confederate flag and they wanted to succeed, so they were traitors. They wanted to secede because they were traitors. Well, Antifa doesn't want authority. So they're traitors too, and if we use your ideology. So I'm not using that with those people. If you're saying that you will just want to make where you live better and you focus on that first, to me, that's what patriotism means, but it kind of nuances with nationalism. And for Kielson, when he talks about Australia was made from immigration, period. England dumped a shit ton of people over there, orphans. A lot of it was horrible what the British did in the early, the late 1800s, early 1900s. It was just horrific. I am about open borders, actually, people. I actually want immigration, but I want it legal. And I just believe you can't help somebody unless you can help yourself first, because that's what experience has told me. I got 4 fucking kids. I've had to put them through college, and it ain't fucking cheap, people. This shit ain't easy. So everybody needs help. I get it. But if our government currently, and I use the VA, can't even take care of those, in the air quotes, that the far right and everybody on the far left says, oh, well, at least we got to love our veterans. That's why I go to the veteran card. Because if we're supposed to care about them alone and our government can't even do it, and yet we're all bitching about it, and now they're helping immigrants. I'm not saying care about them alone, but if we can't even care about them, and that problem has been existing for fucking ever. Homeless veterans, homeless children, homeless, no option, foster care.
With you, man.
All of these people, and yet we're bringing more shit in, and we're trying to help others before we help ourselves. And that to me, and you can do both. That is to me is the patriotism that I would.
Are you just too stupid to do both? Is that what the problem is? Is that you're just too stupid to figure out how to resolve? It's not that hard. It's not that hard. It's not that hard because you can do things that deal with both issues at the same time. I thought America was this great fucking country that can do all these amazing things. But as soon as you have to as soon as you have to walk and chew gum at the same time, it's too hard for you because you don't like it.
No, I'm telling you for a fact. If they took care of the veterans, we wouldn't have this issue, would we?
Why aren't they doing both?
If
If they have the means to afford both, why don't they just do both? Why do your priorities matter more than other people?
Unfortunate that we're kind of reopening some of these facilities that Trump was actually criticized for, because unfortunately you can't build. It's kind of like the old.
So do you think there's a difference? Do you think there's a difference between the migrant overflow facilities and the ICE facilities?
Hang on. I'm not done. So it's unfortunate that we're not able to get new facilities built, and that's why we're kind of reopening some of these facilities. And like I said in the last panel, the reason that we're doing this implies that there is a worse choice we could make. And that choice looks a lot like this: releasing minor children into the custody of potential child sex traffickers because we have not verified anyone's identity. Yes, this is a tragedy. Yes, it is terrible. Yes, I wish it was better. That is not the world we live in right now. There is a lot worse choices we could be making right now.
Stardust.
Yeah, I want to correct what I said. It's not just 1,000; it's over 4,000. And also, there are a couple of articles here that I have on challenges in female veterans' health. I think we can do a lot better in terms of that, because apparently the current health system for veterans is just mainly focused on males. Yeah, I'm just going to link that. That's all I wanted to contribute. But over 4,000 children being sexually abused in detention centers is one of the most. I will never be embarrassed of anything so much as I am of that. As an American, I am ashamed that we did that to people, that we did that to children. That's like a lifetime of a lifetime of psychological distress that these children are going to have to go through, because they were separated from their families, and them being sexually assaulted. It's just unbelievable.
You know, that's been going on since the 70s and 80s, right?
That's bullshit. Their parents did this to them when they put them in that position by sending them over the border illegally, right? So if there's blame on the person who did the molestation. Obviously, there's blame on the fucking parents. Right? These people do not belong here.
They shouldn't have been separated from their parents.
I agree. They
should not have been separated from their parents.
There's both going on. The ICE separated them, and they were sent over by themselves, right? But let's not talk past each other. Both of these things are going on. That ICE is responsible, and what Doobie's talking about does happen as well. And these are actually the people that the migrant facilities are targeting.
But are they doing that because they know they're going to be sent back anyways? Like I'm pretty sure they have a feeling that their kids have a better chance of staying if they don't go with their kids, because then they're all just going to get deported as one unit.
But don't you think it's still better to be with your children? I mean, I'm personally.
It costs more money. Yeah, logistically speaking, you're putting them in a more difficult position by demanding that.
But I think as a parent, I would much rather take my child myself through that. I mean, obviously I haven't gone through that.
Okay, but you're faced with two positions, right? Or two situations. You leave your child here, or you send it to Mexico. If going with your child is too expensive, that means that forces you in the option of leaving your child here. If the only way to get your child out of Mexico is to send them to the United, okay, that's great. What I'm saying is these people don't have a choice. If the only way to get your child out of Mexico is to send it to the U.S. and for you to stay there, then that's probably better than never giving them that chance.
Do you think that the people understand the risks as much? I mean, I think they do understand the risks.
Yeah, I think they're totally capable of understanding things the way we do.
So you think that they think that the risks are worth it, correct?
Yeah, because keeping them there is a much bigger risk with much less chance of reward.
So knowing that they're going to be put into these camps, they know that this is going to happen, so they think that that's for the best.
I mean, there's definitely some degree of naivety about how America is this great nation that can do no wrong.
Yeah, obviously.
Go ahead.
But I'm just trying to follow the path of thought to say, okay, if they think it's worth the risk, and they know that these people are going to be put into these camps, these children are going to be put into these camps, they themselves are thinking that it's worth it to do this for their child to have a better life. So
but
I think that if they're willing,
but they're not doing it out of selfishness. That's what I hate about Doobie's implication. It's not just pure selfishness; it's situational.
No, I'm not trying to say it's.
I've never because they're threatened by their.
And then how does your argument apply, Doobie?
One
if it's not
person
selfishness,
talk
what
at
the
a
fuck does it
time.
matter? Thanks,
Okay.
Layman. We really needed you to say that over everybody else.
Go ahead, Doobie, give it a try.
So I acknowledge, right, that these people are not bad people. They're doing this because they genuinely want to make their lives better, the lives of their children better. They want opportunity, all these things, right? I agree. That's commendable, even. That doesn't mean that the rules don't apply. Right? That doesn't mean they get to break our laws and violate our sovereignty. Right? So they do it the illegal way, or they go back fucking home. Right? I think that we're kind of dancing around the elephant in the room here, and that is that these countries are in such shit condition that people are willing to risk life and limb, right, to get over here in the first place, right? So I think we should be considering. I mean, my position is that we probably start taking steps to annex Mexico. Long term, short term, we should get military involved to do something about the cartels that are fucking these people's lives up.
That would be called walking backwards.
What about the COVID? What about the state by state COVID guidelines that they have to follow to have these people in hotel rooms?
No, I don't care. Okay, these people shouldn't be here in the first place. Okay, I don't care about the state by state COVID guidelines right now. Right? So
wait, you shouldn't be there in the first place. You're telling me that you're Native American and 100%?
Oh my God, what are you talking about? Okay,
no, but the same logic applies to you. You come from colonial roots.
I want to finish. Let me respond to you, please.
I want to make their conditions at home better so that they don't flood over our border illegally, right? One way to do that, I think, would be to get militarily involved in destroying the cartels in Mexico, for example, so that they don't need to flee these countries in the first place.
Why does that involve annexing Mexico?
Because long term, I'd like to annex Mexico and Canada because I'd like them all to be American. That's long term.
So what does that have to do with, like, could you do that? Could you do it without annexation? Why annexation in total? Is it just because you'd like it?
We have a North American Union.
Yeah, I would like to avoid war with these countries, right? I think that something like that could happen long term.
Why do you have
I'm talking like very long term, right? But I think short term, we should be helping these people clear out the cartels because the cartels are the reason they're fleeing the countries in the first place.
Yeah, so we'd agree that we can do this with like foreign aid, military intervention, and other positions, right? Without having to necessarily.
That'd be the first step.
You know how you do that a lot cheaper? That's how you do that a lot cheaper. Decriminalize drugs in the United States. The price of cocaine.
Hell yeah, brother.
Hang on. No problem. But the price of cocaine in Dallas, Texas has a hell of a lot more to do with the powers of the cartel that are causing people to come up across this border than probably any other explanation you could give. And
what's Naples go for in Texas?
I have no fucking clue. But but I'm just saying there is a market for it, okay? And that's the reason. And so it's the illegality is what causes the prices to be so high, actually, for all these drugs. The fact that they're illegal is the reason that the price is usually jacked where it's at. And also keep in mind, another reason why these folks are trying to come over the border is, I don't know if a lot of you remember, in October of 2019, the Mexican government was bested in open battle by the drug cartels. They tried to arrest El Chapo's son. It's funny how short of memories we have. So yes, there is something that needs to be done about these nations because, I mean, they're paradises. The fact that people are leaving these, like, literal, in terms of weather, paradises is really quite telling. And so it points to a political.
Let's just be real. Let's be real. I'm going to agree with Doobie for once on this because I've actually talked about just making it North America. The Doobie's right. I mean, the one thing that I'll give the Democratic and the leftist side is the fact that they clearly know where they want their labor force to come from, and they damn sure don't want to pay for that labor force here in America because they can get it for so much less from the South American society. So, you know, I'm also agree that the North America. I agree that the North American consumerism, and especially the elite consumerism that happens out of Canada, would be even better from a market capitalist standpoint. So, Doobie, I actually could probably ride with you on this train.
Yuck. National sovereignty forever, folks. Now, the folks in Mexico are allowed to live the lives that the folks in Mexico want to. The folks of Canada are allowed to live the lives they want to. No reason we need to impose that. And they don't.
But your Disneyland version of reality doesn't work, right? That's fucking Disneyland. The reality is that they affect us.
It's the way we're living right now. So that's the reality.
No, they affect us. We affect them, right? They're people.
Let them finish.
People are fleeing their sovereign nation and invading our sovereign nation because their sovereign nation is fucked up, right? So for us to fix this problem, their sovereign nation needs to be fixed, and if they can't do it themselves, we need to help them do it or force them to do it. Saying that we need to solve this problem by polluting our people, poisoning our people with fucking drugs. That's the solution you come up with.
Nobody said that, dude.
Yes, he did. He said we should make.
Everyone said decriminalize. Yeah.
Let's go.
Talking
no, Layman, do you want to say
Just think
something?
about how small our border would be.
Layman, do you want to say something?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, Doobie, decriminalizing drugs doesn't mean that everybody gets to pump themselves full of drugs all the fucking time. It just means that people who are incarcerated for them already would get a fucking pardon for that shit and not have to, have that go with them for the rest of their lives so they can't find a fucking job or contribute meaningfully to the economy or anything like that. It doesn't mean like everyone just pumps themselves full of heroin and that's fucking it. I just wanted to clarify that for you as well.
Okay, so what decriminalization of it?
That's what KOE
against
said.
that. Decriminalization has been like significantly more effective in lowering like heavy drug use rates in Portugal than any other policy because decriminalization doesn't necessarily mean no punishment for drug use, right? So for example, Portugal, what happens is you get sent to rehab, right? It just means that.
Oregon, since they've decriminalized all drugs, we know that place is just on fire. It's anarchy in the streets now, right? I mean,
let's go to.
You have to have freedom. You have to actually start trusting people with a little bit of freedom once in a while. It's not going to be perfect. Nirvana's not for this world, but you have to trust people with a little bit of freedom here and there.
Let's go to 9,000 Stardust.
Okay, I want Doobie to clarify something in particular. Is this about entitlement or is it about America either being too good to help people or not good enough? Like, I can't figure out how you're determining that America shouldn't have to. You're not explaining where the obligation stops and how you define that.
I'm a little bit confused. So when you say, is this about entitlement, what do you mean that I'm saying that I'm entitled to
with being able to handle the idea of having immigrants live around you? Are you afraid that America can't handle things? I'm trying to figure it out.
Well, I can explain. I don't have any issue with immigrants, right? I'd love for people to come to this country legally, right? So it's not immigrants that's the problem. It's illegal immigrants. Foreign invaders, those are the problems, right?
So you just don't like them because that word sounds scary or something?
Not because it sounds scary, but because we have a country built on laws, right? I think without these laws, the country is lawless. They've decided to violate our sovereignty, violate our rules, right? That we've said we've said, hey, if you want to cross this line, these are the requirements, right? They've ignored that for their own benefit, and I can totally understand why they would do this, right? I'm not saying they're bad people for doing this. I'd probably do it in their position. So there are consequences for this, right? They don't just get to walk in or they don't get, then suddenly they're like entitled to all the rights and protections and privileges of an American citizen. That's not how it works.
Okay, well, here's the thing is like, I think that, never mind. I forgot what I was going to say.
So Stardust.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I have a couple of points here to make. I would say that first off, unauthorized immigrants make up 10.5 million from what I'm taking a look at, which is 23%, right? And then those of those unauthorized immigrants, only 25%. Actually, no, not 25%. I want to say I have to look up the statistics of what percentage of them are from Latin America, but I do believe it is not a majority.
So I remember what I was going to say.
Secondly, wait. I'm not finished. Wait. Okay. Secondly, immigrants tend to actually give us a lot of benefits. It says Mexicans are no longer the majority. Anyways, sorry, just a second. I had it up here. So in 2018, more than 2.6 million immigrants, including 314,000 refugees, were employed as healthcare workers, with 1.5 million of them working as doctors, registered nurses, and pharmacists. Immigrants are overrepresented among certain healthcare occupations, even as immigrants represent 17% of the overall U.S. civilian workforce. They are 28% of physicians and 24% of dentists, and as well as 38% of home health aides. So these immigrants that we have in our countries actually do contribute a lot, especially with like
all those numbers.
So I think
you're conflating legal and illegal immigrants and all those.
No, I mean they become legal eventually.
Let's talk about a real solution here.
Biggs,
Let's
go
talk
ahead,
about a real
Biggs.
solution. Can I? So I think what needs to happen here is if we want to find a real, actual, achievable solution, is we need to have from both sides. I think that the way we can do this is make the border harder to cross illegally, while also making it so that the path to citizenship is more achievable. I do believe, and personally, my personal belief is that somebody who comes to this country should be able to get to this country within a reasonable amount of time, within a reasonable amount of effort, especially when we're considering that these people are mostly from very low income, very low economic status. So we need to kind of have ways so that they can make it here in a way that is both beneficial to them and to the United States. So I think if we can make it so we disincentivize the illegal border crossings along with incentivizing the legal citizenship path, I think that solves both issues from both the right and the left, and we can actually achieve legitimate immigration that kind of fits for both the people here, because we need to obviously we need to protect the Americans here, while also giving a path to citizenship from people who really want to make a difference. And I think that the people that come up here, I know the right-wing boogeyman is that there's like a bunch of bad people coming. I don't think that's true. There may be some small percentage that's true, but I think the majority of people coming here are really actually trying to find a better life for themselves. And I think that if we make that path to them easier, along with disincentivizing the illegal stuff that's happening, I think we can achieve both sides' goals.
Yeah, I want to say I remembered my point that I had for Judy, which is that
everyone, that's the round. The round is over. Thank you all so much for taking part. So to my audience, the next part of this, I didn't give the chance to explain the rules previously. we were a bit of a mess here.
All that time waiting, and you couldn't even explain the rules, Prime? What's up with that?
All right, that's actually, it's my fault. But okay, we'll do different rounds, right? So we got our first round, then we'll have an elimination at the end of the rounds. So first, we are going to do a voting round. So everyone here at home, all of you will be able to vote on who you want to stay, you want to keep in this competition, not who you want to leave, right? So you're gonna be voting for your favorite. You're gonna be voting for who you find the most interesting, who you find the most amusing, who you find whatever it is, right? You'll vote for that. Did someone drop? Hold on. Oh, I did people drop right now. Oh God. Are they ready to come back in? All right, so which one dropped?
Layman.
Should be able to check the. Okay. Cool.
Okay. Well, hopefully he shows back up soon. All right, so we will. I'll throw the link in chat for the poll. We're going to try a different service, as you all may remember from last week. We had issues with straw poll. So hopefully this will be better. We'll find out.
Prime. Wait. We need to make sure that everybody makes the effort to sub to your channel. We need subs and we need follows. Everybody, KOE, I think you're the man with the plan. Let's hear it, buddy.
Well, thank you, sir, because I'm not only that, I'm also the man of the hour, the man with the power, the man too sweet to be sour. We're making the other podcast cower. But right now, you need to be subscribing right here to Prime K's on Twitch. You need to follow on Twitch, like, share, subscribe on YouTube. What are you doing, folks? Hogging all this Prime K's just all to yourself when you could be sharing it with the world, letting everybody that you know get in on one of the most amazing, fastest growing, beautiful, erudite, just over the top, handsome, gorgeous, genius level, big brain audience that has ever existed in all God's creation, right here at Prime K's. Folks, you know it's the right thing to do. Like, share, subscribe, and follow right here at Prime K's.
Thank you.
Not too bad.
That's awfully kind of you. Holy crap. That is awfully kind. Holy crap. That's really, really kind. Thank you so much. The link is in chat, everyone. We're using U-Poll instead of straw poll. We'll see how that goes this time. We have less than 4 minutes left on the clock. We have 4 minutes left on the clock. Be so kind as to help us out. Thank you for the kind gift sub essay. Yes, now's the time. Vote. There's 5 minutes left on this, so you don't want to end up missing out. Or your favorite person being bounced. We've saw that before plenty of times, okay? So vote right now while you can. It looks like the votes are actually coming in. That's good. So already it's an improvement. I see some strong support, guys. Yes, now's the time. I'll keep dropping the link. Thank you, Cruz for being so kind as to sub. That's really, really kind of you. Thank you so much. But do it right now. Don't do it later. I've seen people do it later. I've seen people wait, and then they get really upset because then they let this account. Once the timer goes off, then we're done. We're absolutely done, okay? So don't wait. Vote right now. Take your time. Jump into the chat. If you're not currently in chat, there's the links. We want you all to be involved in this. I was meaning to do this before, but anyway, right next to me we have Biggs, then we have Doobie. Raise your hand, Doobie. We have KOE right below me. Raise your hand, KOE. Then Kyo. Kyo.
Let's go. Let's go. Vote, go.
And then Ninetails.
Hi everyone. Thank you for voting.
Redneck. And it's just America. Nice work, buddy. And Stardust. And the handsome cat next to her is Titan. Hopefully Layman gets back here soon. I guess maybe he's having some sort of technical issue. Hopefully he'll be back here soon. But yeah. So here we go. Everyone, vote. Now's the time. Do it. Jump on in. We have less than 2 minutes left. Yeah, and then after that, we're gonna jump into our elimination round. It'll be great. You'll love it. All right. So, how y'all doing? How you guys feeling about this?
Lovely. If I can, just 1 second. My brother actually just texted me. He's floored. He's speechless. He's so thankful to this entire community. Thank you all. This entire Prime K's community is a huge blessing. Thank you all. I am quite uncharacteristically humbled this evening. So thank you all. And yes, every one of your souls, mwah, mwah, mwah. I kiss it 3 times. You're beautiful people.
All right, thank you. Yes, and again, I'm so thankful for my community, and you can still help out. Exclamation KOE to help out. KOE's nephew is unfortunately going through childhood cancer, and he's looking for help for medical bills at the GoFundMe page. So if you could click that link, raise some more money. It's still up there, obviously, right? They hit their goal, but if you want to throw some more money in the pot, we love to have you. So hit that GoFundMe link if you'd like to contribute, and thank you all. Thank you all for being so kind as to help out. That was really kind of you. Okay, so yes, and remember, you're voting for who to keep and not who to kick, right? You're voting for your favorite. And we have 40 seconds left on the clock. 40 seconds left on that clock. So now's the time to jump in and make your voice heard. And hopefully we get Layman back. I don't know what happened to him. I have no idea. Hopefully he'll be back by next round. I don't know. But I thought he was doing a pretty good job. And we have 20 seconds left. I think you guys have been doing a bang-up job, honestly, with this round. This was more exciting than I thought it was going to be, honestly. So that's really good. It's really tough, like, making up these topics.
It definitely took some twists and turns, that's for sure.
Yeah, I personally
I'm
don't.
having a lot of fun.
Yeah, I personally don't give a shit like what we talk about. Just as long as everyone's engaged, like if it drifts, I don't care. It doesn't matter to me at all.
Can I just?
Yep.
Can I just say that Ninetails would have remembered her point earlier if she wasn't such a pothead. Don't do drugs, kid.
Hey.
That's funny.
I take
Okay.
offense to that. She specifically said that she did not partake prior to this panel so she could be sharp. So I think that that's out of turn, sir, and you owe Ninetails an apology.
I'm tempted to make my point now that I remember it, but whatever.
Okay.
You should.
So voting is over. Voting is over, and the results are in. Okay, we're gonna put on dramatic music because that's what we do. Because it's makes things more exciting, hopefully. So we will go to open 2 of these things. All right, whatever. Play the dramatic music. All right. Ooh, very scary. Oh wow. Oh, it's super loud. Never mind. Holy shit.
The redhead is taking over the channel. The redhead is taking over the channel, everyone.
Redhead?
Hi, little baby. Hello.
Oh, hey. Oh,
this is my littlest one.
Hey.
This is my baby.
Aww, she's so
Yeah,
adorable.
Adorbs.
Super cute. Super cute.
I love her little smile. It's so cute.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're still doing it up. Their moms got supposed to keep them upstairs and put them to bed.
Okay, so voting is done. Moving on. We will, in case you don't know, we'll be eliminating 2 people, but 3 people will be up for on the chopping block. Okay. The top people, the top here are Kyo-san with number 1 at the top.
Let's go!
Yeah. Kyo-san number 1 of this round, and Doobie number 2. Nice work, Doobie, there. Strong support from you as well. Ninetales, you came in with a very close second. Yeah, very close second, actually. Very close third, excuse me. But yeah, so nice work there. All right, so the bottom 3 people up for elimination. Not quite a surprise, the lowest. Titan, who had some issues at home, which is why that happened. And Layman, who's not currently here right now, and Biggs, you should have brought out your kid beforehand. I'm sure they've gotten some extra votes, Biggs. But
That's all right.
They're in the bottom 3. So what we usually do here is that we ask the bottom 3 to make their case to the top 2 to keep them around, because they're going to be the ones voting. But look, Titan can't participate right now. Layman is, I don't know. So,
I win by default. Yes.
Don't make the guy beg. Come on.
No reason to. So yeah. All right. Well, that sucks. So nothing very too dramatic about this. All right. Well, we're moving on.
I feel like my democratic power has been taken away from me.
Yeah.
So I'll plead my case just to plead my case.
Okay.
So I think that I will give good takes on the next upcoming topics. I think I'm willing. I have my daughters here acting crazy, but I'm willing to call out both the left and the right on anything that might be one way or the other incorrect that I believe personally. So I kind of keep both sides in check. So I think that's a very valuable trait to have. So that's my plea. I hope that you keep me on. Thank you very much, everybody. Prime, thank you again for having me on. I appreciate it. I love you, man, and I love what you do for this whole community, and you're doing amazing. And just keep up the good work.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for being so kind. And hooray, you win! You're back. All right, awesome. Yeah. And yeah, let's get some more votes for Biggs next time. He's got a very cute.
Oh yeah, come on,
kid.
everybody.
Yeah.
I saw some people. I saw some people vouching for me in chat. I saw it. Like people think I'm feeling the vibe. You know, it's all good.
Yeah.
It's important to remember that a vote for Biggs is not just a vote for Biggs; it's a vote for Biggs and his daughter, who is a freaking.
I've got actually 2 of my daughters down here now. I've got 2 of my 3. My third one's asleep somewhere, but these other 2 apparently don't want to go to bed.
I was wondering, like, given your total public humiliation here, your failure to get any votes, how can you justify reproducing that much?
So I feel like we need to focus on the topics at hand, Doobie, and I think that it's completely irresponsible of you to sidetrack the topics. And I think you need to keep on track, buddy. So watch yourself next round.
You're just jealous of the breeders.
Doobie, I think you're trying too hard, to be honest.
Breed.
Okay. Amazing.
I'll offer a little personal information. My oldest daughter is adopted because I didn't think I would be able to have kids, not from any fault of my wife's, but from myself. And then we were actually blessed with 2 more children, which I'm not religious, but I still feel blessed by that. So that's just my personal take.
Hooray.
Well, fair enough. Oh, all right, buddy. So moving on. We will start with the next topic. You would think when I say that, like, I've decided which one's going to be the next topic, but
do we normally give opening statements for these topics in the battle royale, or no?
No.
Automatically jump in. Okay.
No, we just jump in. Yeah.
Okay.
Because we don't have enough time for all that. People
all right, no, that's fine.
No, that's fine. Yeah. Okay. So this was a good one. There was someone else I had invited. I wanted Dylan Burns for this next topic. I thought he would have been great for this topic. And also Red Charlotte, who's been coming to my open panels. She actually inspired this topic, but unfortunately she couldn't make it to this discussion. So we'll just jump into it. Topic 2. Is it the responsibility of the U.S. to fight forever wars like the Afghanistan war and Iraq conflicts, all to secure the freedoms of foreign civilians and to build a liberal democracy? Okay, so should the U.S. be engaged in these wars? Like the U.S. has been in Afghanistan for, I believe, 20 years now, and like Iraq for 19, I think. So these wars don't seem to end. Right. Excuse me. Hold on. I'll tell you in a sec. I'm going to explain this to make sure everyone understands. And so the question is like, should we be there to secure other people's freedoms, like make sure that, like, women don't aren't put in some sort of regressive culture again or something like that? Is that worth it for us just to be there maybe forever? All right. 35 minutes on the clock. Jump on in.
So either the case,
I think we need to address
because the wars don't ever end. There's no point to it because, like Brian said, the wars never end. We have had the dogs of war unleashed on the soft hides of the innocent for over 20 years. Right now, we have an entire generation that hasn't known anything except a world under war. So, unfortunately, no, we do. Yes, there will be problems in these corners of the world, and they will be their problems. We cannot. If you want to police the world, then police the world we shall. And it was going to be costly, and it's going to be thankless. And at the end of the day, unfortunately, we don't have the ability, nor should we be going to every corner of the world to act as world policemen. It's unfortunate that we found ourselves there, because just like in our newest war we've injected ourselves in, several years ago, we weren't on the verge of speaking Iraqi. There was no need for this. And just like we are now, we're not on the verge of speaking Syrian. There's no need for us to do this.
It's not about the verge of speaking Syrian. This is like a massive, stallman of intervention.
I do not yield. It is a nation that has been at civil war for over a decade. What do we hope to accomplish? Bombing their piles of rubble into slightly smaller piles?
That's not bombing their piles of rubble. They're literally doing the opposite.
I do not yield.
We need to look at the reasons for why we are in those wars.
We
need to look at the reasons for why we are in those wars.
Been given a value proposition.
The problem we have now is that we're literally in wars with things that literally have zero to do with actual issues that we're trying to achieve, while ignoring people that are actually being genocided in other countries. It's all a matter of what we think can benefit the United States, and we focus on those specific wars, like the wars in the Middle East because of oil, the wars in Africa, which is being invaded by China, while all ignoring the actual genocide of Uyghur Muslims in China. It's all about perspective and what we think we can get the most cost-benefit analysis from.
Wait, do you really think the US is going to be able to like fight against fucking China? Like, it's about not just about cost-benefit analysis, right?
No.
And just saying just oil is incredibly
reductive. It's about geopolitical influence. The reason why we're in wars, the reason why we are in wars in the Middle East is because it's for geopolitical reasons, right? We have Russia, we have China. They both are expending their resources within those countries as well to have influence there, right? And if we're not involved there, then somebody else goes there and they do it. Now, what the solution is, I'm not really sure. But to boil it down just to like oil or liberation is a.
Why do we?
I mean, it's fewer actual. It's actually fewer for strategic positions. And like, can anyone on the panel? I'm actually interested because I don't know this personally. Name an example of the U.S. intervening or doing something to help some country and not fucking it up somehow.
Yeah, plenty of times. One, there was World War II, right? Like, if the US, like, there's plenty of like people trying.
That's because they were doing it with everybody else. That's a really bad example.
They were doing it anywhere else. There was like massive anti-intervention protests in almost every country. The US was like specifically led by leftists, right? And we understand now that if we look back, that it was a good idea to intervene there, right? There are plenty of times the US has intervened, and it's actually been good. Even in the modern era,
posit that if like it was only the US.
Look at what happened.
Okay, so if I can finish.
Okay, I want to respond. I really want to respond because I posit that if it was only the U.S. intervening, then it would have gone to shit.
Okay, sure.
I
can give you
wanna
one
finish-
example.
I-
One second,
So the Algerian, so I think it was like the head of Algeria's Kosovo. I could be misremembering my geopolitics, but when we intervened when the US intervened in Algeria, right, they were able to like successfully prevent like a knee genocide.
If I can intervene real quick, I just want to finish what I was saying. The reason why we get involved in these wars is not just down to ideological reasons or down to oil or down to some money, right? We get involved because if we're not there, then somebody else is going to be there, and we can't leave a power vacuum. And once we get involved in a war, if we withdraw too quickly, then we see ISIS, things like that pop up, right? So
That's why you
it's a
don't care
very
in the first
complicated issue. So I do think, sure, like for example, the Iraq War, I'm not sure how legitimate the reasons were that we were going in there, but if we didn't go in there, it would be somebody else going in there. Unfortunately, the Middle East has been. Let me finish. Unfortunately, the Middle East has also been a place, a center of proxy wars, and it really, really sucks. I feel really bad for the people who live there. I don't know what the solution is, but we need to take a much more nuanced look at foreign policy before we start boiling these things down to monetary or ideological things.
The solution was to stay out of there in the first place. If we're creating a power vacuum by going there, then here's the consequence of U.S. imperialism. We can't go somewhere and not create a power vacuum. We can't go somewhere and not use it to our geopolitical advantage.
So
In
it's
fact,
definitely
what you do is you create like
everyone else. You're letting everyone else finish, Kios. So
I didn't let anyone finish to be clear because I think everyone's made bad points here.
Go ahead.
At not taking advantage.
Except for me, of course.
Nine Tails, finish.
Besides, the military-industrial complex is run by profit. I highly doubt that if the U.S. has the opportunity to exploit a situation where it's in a foreign country, it's just simply not going to have some sort of principle that doesn't even come from this American exceptionalism that bleeds into U.S. imperialism that Stardust is talking about.
Isolationism is in a way endorsing war, like even worse war than if we don't intervene. For example, great example. Wait. Great example. World War II. Right? We were the last people to intervene. Right? How much shit do I still get from my UK friends whenever we talk about World War II? When we don't intervene, we are directly endorsing even worse violence.
America had an aggressive act of invasion committed against us. Once you have a force initiated against you, you are no longer initiating force. You are defending yourself. And so those are complete moral opposites when you defend yourself from someone else's initiation of force. Now,
but that's not the point.
Okay, but what I'm talking about is when we commit an aggressive act of invasion, and like we did in Iraq, and like we are now doing in Syria, where we've now started dropping bombs and we've been moving troops in, we are actually violating the just war principle of even Christianity that states that you do not commit the aggressive act of invasion. And so,
again,
I'm sorry,
World War II, we only got involved because wait. Yes. I'm trying to explain to you. World War II, we had a foreign policy stance of isolationism, and guess what? World War II, we did isolationism until basically we got bombed. And up until that point, we were okay with people getting genocided. We were okay with our allies getting invaded. And let me just remind you all, we have treaties. We have treaties, international treaties with 67 countries to defend them. Now, I'm not saying that's right. I'm saying that those countries have not kept up their side of the deal as far as building up their militaries. So guess what? The burden ends up falling on us. And I'm not saying that's great. I would love it if things changed, but and I would love it if other countries picked up some of that burden. But unfortunately, as it is, a lot of those countries have not done that, and it's 67 countries.
Who are we to condone what the U.S. actually approves and disapproves?
Hold on. Stop. DB hasn't gotten in yet. DB, please.
Thought I was responding.
Well, I just wanted to say that, KOE, this story that you're pushing is a tale told by an idiot, full of sound and fury, signifying nothing but the empty space between your fucking.
I know. Why do you keep talking though? I don't get it.
Listen. Listen, this is not has nothing to do with the question. First off, I think we can disagree about why the U.S. went into Afghanistan or Iraq or whatever the fuck, right?
Kind of a big difference.
It doesn't matter. Some people say war. I'm sorry,
Kinda
oil.
does.
Some people say, they attacked us, whatever the fuck, right? The question was whether or not we should be invading countries to spread democracy. So if there is a fascist, totalitarian country, right, somewhere in the world, right, is it the U.S.'s duty to go into that country and to liberate these people with democracy, quote unquote? Right. That's what the question is. So I'd really like us to kind of focus on that because I think that's a really interesting topic.
Oh, well, that's really funny because I was cut off.
In a war zone. It is not your place to say who does and does not have to live in a war zone just because you don't like the condition of one place or another.
I love how Doobie
Haley,
raised his
your
hand
mic
to tell,
is
tell
like
people.
killing my ears.
I love how Doobie
turn down
raised
the
his
gain.
hand. I love how Doobie raised his hand and got in front of people who were going to do the exact same, the exact thing he's complaining is not happening. The reason is simple. U.S. has interest with Saudi Arabia, with the United Arab Emirates, all places that are like known to do, and Israel, all places that are known to do horrendous war crimes and terrible things. How can we trust them to just betray their allies when it's some sort of dogmatic like world principle? This is imperialism. This is not democracy and freedom being like
amazing.
morally superior.
So let's go Biggs and then Redneck if he wants to jump in, and then back to Kaylee.
Yeah. So basically, what I have to ask myself is, and I think on the panel we can agree, like, what type of things should we as Americans be involved in? Do you think that genocide is something that Americans should intervene in? Do you think that like literal famine and starvation are things that the government of America, because we have the ability to do this, should intervene in? I think the majority of people on this panel would say yes, we should probably help improve the means and things of other people in the world. I think the problem is as Americans now, the government and the military stands now is they focus only on things that benefit America through whatever we can get out of these countries. That's why we ignore China. We ignore these other nations that literally are genociding people and only focusing on things like, oh, we can get oil from the Middle East, so we're going to focus on this, or we're going to combat Russia instead of China because Russia's trying to build this pipeline that's going to affect the oil input into Europe, whereas, it would be better if we did it this way or whatever. So, like, I just don't understand how we can justify one war of another when we literally have people being genocided in specific countries that we are just, like, ignoring. I think as
what's like reasonable action?
Right. I think as a country, we need to try to persuade other countries to put more economic sanctions on places like China. Where
economic sanctions have been put on China. Targeted sanctions have been put on by all UN members have already put targeted sanctions on China. Targeted sanctions work 23% of the time on average, right? They're effective of the most non-violent ones, right? The most effective non-violent ones.
Why are we backing off those sanctions as Americans now?
You haven't backed off the sanctions
Why
as
do we
America.
care?
The sanctions are there. You don't need broad-based sanctions. The targeted sanctions are there, right? What do you expect the US to do? Go and fucking walk the troops in there? We've taken all the amount of non-violent options that we can.
We need to try to avoid actual conflict. We need to try to do things that are non-combative that can persuade other countries to do things. I think
they've already exhausted all those options.
On-the-boots war is the absolute last option we should take.
I agree, to be clear, but it looks like in terms of China, right, every proper action that we could take on a worldwide stage is something we've already taken against China, right? And the Uyghur problem is still going to happen. And to be clear, the Uyghur problem is like incredibly racist. It's a Xi Jinping problem, right? It's not a China problem. It's a Xi Jinping problem.
It's the Communist Party problem.
No,
it's
not. The Communist Party didn't do this before Xi Jinping. I'm not going to defend Communist China or anything.
Does he not make? Does he not have any bearing on that at all?
We got to move on to get some other people in as well. So let's go Redneck, and then Ninetails, Stardust, and Kaylee.
So I've been pretty quiet because I wanted to feed my face. I'm kind of hungry. I just had a pizza, and I ate it folded. So I'm trying to rep. So while I'm eating, I'm hearing fucking Ninetails and fucking Stardust, who I know have advocated for defunding the police inside of our own country.
Oh, are you kidding me? Don't ascribe that to
country.
me. Don't ascribe that to me. Don't ascribe that belief to me. Hell no, dude. You don't know me, okay?
That's
fucked.
Redneck, I know this is hard for you. I know this, Redneck. I know this is hard. Where's the contradiction?
Shut your pie hole.
Point, please.
Keep your dick lips up. Let's go.
Where's the contradiction? I know it's hard for you, but like
you don't know about me. So
I'm just asking you to answer a simple question. Can you actually substantiate this? Where is the contradiction?
It's amazing. Look, I'm going to tie two of these topics back together because this is proving why
You're already
leftists can't be
Gishgalopping.
fucking patriotic. You can't be patriotic, and because this is why you can't even understand how it means. Why are we in other countries when they should fight for themselves? If they are so invested in their fucking country like we're supposed to be, how are we going to build them a country if they're not even invested in it?
Why do you have to
That's not even my argument.
You can't take care of others until you can take care of your fucking self, and that's the definition of patriotism.
The US is the
period.
richest
And you want
country
to talk
on
about
earth. What are you
walk?
talking about?
You want to talk about walk and chew gum and all this bullshit at the same time? Yet you have years of history that you just
That isn't my argument, Redneck.
America
arguing
is bad
against
at all of these things.
You're really bad at this.
America is bad. Can you shut the
Who are you
fuck up?
arguing against? It's not me.
Let him finish, please.
The left narrative is that, oh, it's now we should be in these other countries. Yet we conservatives and libertarians are trying to tell you that we need to take care of shit at home because we have been the fucking global police for fucking ever. It's ridiculous. It's bullshit. It's a story that the big war machine and the big oil, all these fuckers that y'all say y'all hate, push upon the low income class workers of America, because guess what? We don't get college educations. We go serve our fucking country because that's pretty much the best option we have out of a poor situation. So round it all up. Keep helping other fucking countries that are unwilling to help themselves. It doesn't make sense to me.
Okay.
You guys literally flip-flop on all this bullshit, and that's why I'm saying you guys, you can't even hold a line.
Okay, start.
So you find with like China and
trying
Imperial Russia,
really
like
hard.
having like their influence expanded here? Like, would you rather those people be like the global hegemons or America?
Shouldn't your country be able to help us with that, since
Is
it
that the
may
question
affect
I
you as
asked?
well?
They do already.
Is that the question I
right?
answered?
The Australian SAS,
Is the
the
question
Australian
I
SAS
answered?
is one of the most effective militaries. Okay, but
Soft
that's not the
power
question
is
I
always
asked.
better than war.
Okay.
Every
Pardon?
time.
So
Go ahead. You can respond to that, then we're going to start us in Ninetales. Then KOE. Redneck, you can respond to that, I said. Redneck, you can respond, and then we go to Stardust.
I said, I asked a question with his, I answered it with a question.
Okay.
I mean, it's the same bullshit. He can sit here and toss it in which way he wants. But we
And I
as a
answered the
country,
question, but you didn't answer my question.
Okay. Why are we more invested in somebody's country than themselves?
That's not
my
what
answer.
I asked. I asked, would you rather America
That's
be the
the
world
fucking
hegemon,
answer.
or would you rather China or Russia be the world hegemons? Right? Would you rather these people making the policy decisions on a world stage? I know which I'd prefer.
Okay.
Wait, what
You
is-
just got
let's
through
go
saying
to-
20
let's go
minutes
to-
ago that China is a fucking problem that we can't fix.
We got it. All right.
Right? You
Stardust.
just got to
Okay.
say
Can't fix.
We got it. We
I
got
used to
it.
get-
You
You
fucking did
fucking-
earlier, you fucking cuck.
We got it. Oh my god. Oh my god.
I said that we've exhausted a lot of
I'm
the
gonna start
It's
muting.
turn.
I have to start muting. But Stardust, Ninetales, KOE, and then I think DB, you wanted to say something?
I think Ninetales was in front of me.
Oh, okay, sure, Ninetales.
I think so.
Okay. I mean, like if Prime wants me to go after Stardust.
It doesn't
for
matter.
whatever.
It doesn't matter. Just someone
Okay,
talk.
okay. I wasn't sure if it was because I was cutting off
No,
Redneck
just
and stuff.
doesn't matter. Just
Yeah, like I don't know what Redneck was necessarily responding to, because nobody here is saying that that we both want to defund the police, but we want intervention. My argument wasn't even that like it's right or wrong because of what my leftist principles are. My argument is that even if the United States is the perfect thing for intervening, it actually doesn't do geopolitics right in a way that we can trust it to not take advantage of that. It's never actually done. I think Keo might have mentioned an example I'm not familiar with enough that might have passed, but then he said that it qualifies because it doesn't serve, because it didn't do a genocide. So yeah, you Redneck, I know you tried really hard there, but there actually is no contradiction. You certainly weren't able to substantiate any of it. Secondly, we're constantly saying this is like intervening is the only option. The US can easily support third-party countries with no self-interest in these things, but it doesn't because it wants this power, and that's how things are going to keep going. And
What do
that's
you
why
mean support third-party countries with no interest in this thing?
just like there are just way better countries that could handle this, that don't have geopolitical interests around the world, isn't trying to maintain a hegemony, and the US could give them funds or stuff like that to help with things.
They already do, and they already are. Like,
Yeah, but I prefer they do that more, is what I'm saying. I'm saying that either intervening or not intervening is not the only option. There's a third way to do things.
The third way is we get other people to intervene. Like, what
wait,
do
you're
you
either
mean?
wait. Okay,
Yeah,
Ninetales,
people-
I need to ask you a quick question. If you
Invested
see a
in-
child, so Ninetales,
Sure.
I'm going to ask you a quick hypothetical, right? If you see a child playing in the street and they're playing with a ball and they're not paying attention to their surroundings, and you see them playing on tram tracks and the tram is coming around the corner and does not have enough time to brake and they will hit this child, right? You have enough ample time to stop this child being hit. Should you stop the train? Should you stop the child? Should you pick up the child and move them?
Yes.
Yes, right. And we would agree that people who don't pick up the child are bad people, right?
Sure.
Right, because we understand that we make a choice and we choose not to do something, right? It is intervention or non-intervention.
No,
That is a false equivalency.
Lifeboat scenarios
There
are
are other
always
factors
stupid.
when it comes
no,
to that.
Lifeboat scenarios are always stupid because they are never actually
They're always
situations
false
that we
equivalencies.
ever. Well, we never actually face any of these in our lives. I mean, they're nice to just like kind of run around in your mind and ruminate
Everything
on,
sounds
but it
nice
doesn't really,
in
does,
theoretics, but it doesn't in reality. There's so much more complex issues that intervene in these type of situations.
I just want to point out real quick because I got cut off. Kind of all my criticisms still apply despite that thought experiment. So I'm not sure how that was supposed to address that.
Stardust.
Because the criticism here is that you have resources that you're not levying.
Stardust,
right? You're choosing not to.
Stardust, please.
Sorry.
No problem.
Yes. Okay. So just as a reminder, guys, we are last time we did not even non-interventionism. Last time we did isolationism was World War II. Do we want a repeat? Do we want some dictatorship that is going to go? Let me finish.
We need the opposite.
Don't you dare cut me off. Don't you dare cut me off. Okay, last time we did that, how far did that dictatorship go, and how many countries did they invade? Secondly, just so you guys in case you need a reminder, 67 countries. We are in treaty. It is against treaty for us to not defend them. Guess what? 67 countries. They should have kept up their military presence, but guess what? They didn't. Guess what? The burden's on us. Would I like it to be a little bit less on us? Yes, I would. But 67 countries, we are in treaty to defend. Let me remind also the conservatives in here that George W. Bush was the one who got us into Iraq. And what was the conservative stance back then as far as going to war?
We were lied to.
We were okay. All right. Yeah, 67 countries. 67 countries.
Yeah, no one's advocating against not fulfilling your treaties.
So let's go. Let's go to KOE, and let's go to KOE, and then we'll go to Biggs. Okay.
I was about to say, don't speak too soon, Nine Tails. Come on now. Actually, one of Thomas Jefferson's most famous quotes, even if you hate the guy, broken watch is still right twice a day. Peace, commerce, and honest friendship with all nations, entangling alliances with none. And so that's the problem when you find yourself in these entangling treaties. Eventually you find yourself fighting wars that have absolutely nothing to do with you. And so again, that is another thing that we have to watch against if we want to find ourselves in a world with actually no war in the future. If we could actually find ourselves getting back to a state where we don't have a war somewhere in the world. We haven't known it in over 20 years. Now, just two quick things to say. We were saying, well, what if we have to go into this country and do this? What if we have to go to that country and do that? There's terrible things happening here. There's terrible things happening there. There's terrible things happening everywhere. It is not your place to say who does and doesn't have to live in a war zone. If they are living under a bad government, but they are not living under a war zone, that might be a gamble that those people are willing to make. It is not your place to say, because you don't like the politics of a region, now you have to live in a war zone for the next 20 years. So
Haley wants a world where the flag behind him is a Chinese flag.
No. Don't ascribe anything to me that I didn't say. No. I have not ascribed to you a position you have not taken. Extend the same courtesy to me, sir. But no, what I'm saying is soft power is always preferable to unleashing the dogs of war.
Of course.
And the soft hides of the innocent. And the United States has the greatest navy that has all of the ocean trade routes covered. So we actually have abilities to have quite a bit of soft power that we don't exude.
I don't think there is a single person who would disagree with you on the planet.
There's something that you said a little earlier, though, Kia, when you're saying that the richest country in the world should be able to do X, Y, and Z. The line richest country in the world is not a reason, it's not an excuse for imperfect results. There's always going to be imperfections and imperfect results, and just saying, well, you're the richest country in the world, so you should be able to just shit a perfect result out your ass really is not valid. Just I wanted to throw that out there, folks. And I yield back to you beautiful people.
Biggs, please.
So I agree with Stardust here. Is like we do have these 67 or 66 countries that we have agreements with to protect. I also think that as a responsible country of the world, we need to use those treaties to actually put pressure on countries like China, which I do believe personally is the largest world threat right now. And again, this may not be verified in what everybody else believes, but my personal belief is we're on the verge of the next World War II type situation where we have a country that's literally reaching into other countries. There's, especially in Africa, they're making huge expansions in there. There's the possibility of threatening Taiwan. There's a possibility of threatening India. So, like, I think that we're on the verge of another situation like Germany in World War II. So I think we need to put economic pressure to try to possibly avoid a war, to say, hey, China, we don't want to go to war with you, but we're going to put these economic sanctions on you, and we're going to use our treaties with these other countries that we are part of our alliance to kind of put this pressure on you. And I think it's going to actually take a worldwide economic type sanctions on China to actually make that possible. Now, whether or not that's achievable, I don't know, because obviously every country has their own wants and needs. So, like, that's one thing. But I think that we need to really focus on, like, what are actual, like, issues that we need to deal with. And I think like things like the Middle East are like things we need to more focus on humanitarian aid, not so much war. But with China, we need to focus on economic. I really want to avoid actual war. And I think that those are the things we need to focus on: economic aid for those who need it, and economic deterrence for those who we need to persuade to kind of like get in check.
Go ahead, jump in there, Ninetales. And if Doobie and Redneck, you guys want to jump in, we have a little bit of time left, so Doobie and Redneck, you guys want to jump in afterwards, love to have you. Go ahead, Ninetales.
Yeah, I just wanted to address Stardust's naivety on the isolation that the U.S. apparently did during World War II. That's fine and great.
Until the end.
Yeah, but literally
so
everything
minutes.
okay, well, great. Literally everything that happened afterwards, and prime example is the Vietnam War, contradicts your logic here. So I really think you have to account for those things instead of just hyper focusing on the one example that makes you sound right. If you really want to have a better,
that's literally hyper focusing on the one example that makes you sound right.
Me? No, I literally said everything that happened afterwards was a contradiction to her. So I gave Vietnam as a prime example, but guess what? I wasn't just talking about Vietnam.
Do you think? Okay, here's the thing. Do you think countries that stay isolationist? Do you think that they just let their militaries like fall to waste? No, they
but here's the problem. I'm not asking.
They have some of the strongest militaries, right?
Okay, but that's a straw man. Don't tell me to wait because you're straw manning me. You're straw manning me. You're not even addressing my argument. Because I'm not calling for absolute isolationism.
I'm not trying to straw man.
Let me finish.
I'm not trying to straw man.
Okay, you are, so let me explain. So let me explain. I'm not calling for absolute isolationism. I'm saying when it comes to spreading democracy and freedom, the U.S. has no place in this world.
It's not about spreading democracy and freedom. I've already said that. It's not ideologically.
That's what this topic's about.
100% of the time. No, it's not. Okay, I said at the very beginning, my first argument was that we do not go to war just for oil. We do not go to war just for ideological reasons,
and we definitely
right? The reason we go is because of the geopolitical influence at stake, right? Now, I'm not saying that's right. I have never said that's right? But when we get involved, we have to finish, right? And what happens when we don't finish is ISIS, right? Things like
let Stardust reply to you, please. Stardust, finish your reply.
I'm finished.
Oh, okay. Great.
Yeah, well, you're saying it as if oil isn't a reason, but geopolitics are. I agree that they're both reasons, although I'd say things like oil
we
and
have enough oil in the U.S. to supply it for a long time.
I would say oil and having global hegemony are much more common reasons that the U.S. does intervention than actual
geopolitics. We have oil. We don't need oil from other places.
What is that hegemony other than trying to kill the oil?
I can't finish.
Okay. So okay. All right. If Doobie or Redneck would like to jump in now, just
Doobie can go. He hasn't said much.
Yeah, Doobie.
Sure. So, like I said, I think the question here was whether or not the U.S. had some kind of responsibility to get involved to promote democracy, whatever the fuck. I think the clear answer is no. I think we'd all, hopefully, we'd agree that there's no responsibility that the U.S. has to invade other countries if they deem them to be authoritarian or somehow oppressive to their people. I think we'd all agree that the U.S. has done this historically for reasons other than spreading democracy.
Selectively.
Yeah. Yeah, of course, selectively, right? For reasons other than spreading democracy, to advance its own national interests, right? And I think that's totally fine. Right? I think that that we should be selectively doing these things. I don't think the U.S. is the global fucking Power Rangers. We need to go around and liberate people because we are sad that they're oppressed. I think that if it benefits us in some way, we should do it. If it doesn't, we shouldn't. It's that simple.
Yeah, I would agree that like you can't both serve America's national interests and also do humanitarian aid at the same time. These things will contradict each other eventually.
Oh, okay, great. Did we do it? Did we do it?
We did it!
Yay!
Well, no, I was just thinking that, I mean, there are things like the Army Corps of Engineers. I mean, like, there are other things, like, don't get me wrong, the primary purpose of any military is to kill people and break things. They do other stuff on the side on occasion, but the primary number one reason that you deploy a military to do anything is to kill people and break things.
Our military was supposed to defend us. That was their job. That's what it's supposed to be. And we've warped that over the years to make it political and also capital and also, this is the right thing because of genocide. And, or we need to go help this country because they can't do it for themselves. The narrative is always something.
I'm talking all militaries across all time. All militaries across all time, their purpose is to kill people and break things.
There is also the back end where we have these industrialists that actually swoop in to rebuild these countries that get paid huge amounts of profits, which I think is also a problem.
War makes money for everything.
Exactly.
Yes.
I think that's a problem. We need to disincentivize that type of gains on things that are obviously making gains on actual destruction of other countries. I think that's despicable.
Yeah. I think one thing I do want to everywhere and let the countries settle themselves.
So one thing I want to like go over that's like in good, just on that note that I meant to go over at the start of this, but we still got into the weeds, was the fact that like the fact that like these are termed as forever wars. What usually happens is that the US meets their objective actually quite early in these interventions, right? And the rest of that intervention is actually trying to spend like help to rebuild these nations, help to build these nations out. So for example, in Afghanistan, there was a massive highway that was attempted to be built, right? That was consistently advocated for that was bombed out by terrorists, right? But people don't see these actions. People don't notice these actions. They actually don't like that their countries are in these countries for so long. Part of the problem with the US fucking these countries up and failing is because of people being disliked by it, right? It's not popular in democracy to actually nation build and do the things that are important. Because what you should probably be doing is you are going to go in and overthrow these dictators. You are going to create this balance. Is to go in and help set these areas up to become trade allies, to become people you can interact with and work with on the world, and bring them up, lift them up to a point where they can help you and you can help them, right? That's what we tried to do in these longer engagements. People don't like the US staying in these places. They want them to fucking go in, hit the bad guy, and pull out. And that's now not how the US should be engaging in foreign policy. It's not how anyone should be engaging in foreign policy. That's why the funds just aren't there to help these nation building efforts, which is what leaves these countries so destitute.
Go ahead. You want to say something quickly, Doobie?
Well, I think someone in chat brought up the much more interesting conversation that I was hoping we'd have involving this topic. Is there like some kind of moral responsibility? So someone brought up the Rwandan genocide, right? I don't think the U.S. got involved there. Many people died. Many more people probably died because the U.S. didn't get involved. We can look to the Holocaust. If there's a Holocaust happening, is there some kind of moral responsibility that a country has to get involved in these situations and to put an end to whether or not it benefits them in some kind of geopolitical way? Right? I think that's a much more interesting conversation. Personally, I think the answer is no. So I think that I don't think that we should be for crafting foreign policy or policy on wars and all these interventions, all these things based on like moral arguments. I think that it sounds terrible, I know, but we should do these things if they benefit us, not do them when they don't. And that's that simple to me.
Go ahead, Stardust.
I just want to again clarify, like, it's not that I'm like pro us like intervening in everything, right? But we do have there are larger reasons why we are involved in these things, and if we do withdraw too quickly, then we do have dictators who rise up in the power vacuum, right? So I think it is a very nuanced discussion, and I think just boiling down war to oil again is oversimplifying.
No, we're not doing that. We're saying that oil is usually a much more common reason for this sort of thing than actual being afraid of being too isolationist. If I could finish, please. If I could finish. Thank you. Yeah, like the thing is that like no, like just being isolationist ad infinitum, sure, maybe that'll encourage China to attack you. I'm not for that. What I'm talking about is like if the U.S. is creating this power vacuum by its interventions, then that's like, to me, and I hope you can see where I'm coming from on this. That to me seems like a better reason not to do intervention. And I
Of
get like we
course.
don't just pull out. Like I'm not talking about how we get rid of this. I'm just talking about it seems to
Not
me
getting
like that's a
involved
better
in the
reason.
first place.
Yes.
Yeah, everything.
Yeah, I wasn't pro getting involved in the first place either. But once we got involved, then we're kind of obligated to finish the job, right?
Biggs.
What is that job though? Right, the job keeps getting changed. We keep getting
Go ahead,
narratives.
Renee.
We keep getting different. We keep getting different takes. I mean, we've been to war in Iraq for 20 years.
So
we've been in war in that
Can I-
region,
can I-
and before
can I-
us,
can I please get
before
a
us,
can
it
I
was the
please
Russians.
answer on that question.
Before us, it was the Russians, right? So here we go. We're still fighting these wars for everybody else that won't fight for themselves, and yet they also still want to just come to America. So we got to start picking our battles. And I'm saying, if we pulled back and focused on ourselves,
we have
more so than everybody else,
we have very little time.
Let it go.
So just quickly, Biggs and then Dewey, like 10, like
so quick,
20 seconds.
So basically, everything in life is a cost benefit analysis. If we believe that going into a specific country for war is a cost benefit in the positive for the U.S., we'll do it. We'll stay there as long as that benefit is still being achieved. And once that benefit is being null and void, then we'll pull out. The problem is in the Middle East, we have such high value of oil. We want to extract all that value from that country. And once it's done, then we'll move on to the next country. Go ahead, Doobie.
Doobie, please.
Okay, so I just was hoping to get a clear answer to this question. The question is, do you believe that the United States or any country has a moral responsibility to intervene and stop a genocide? If you guys just raise your hands or something, if you agree that they do have the moral responsibility to do this. I'm just trying to understand like where you guys are on that
Just
topic.
raise your
Let's
hands.
go. I'll defend this proposition.
Okay,
Let's
I
fucking
do
go.
want to answer this.
And you
do you mean like?
and you
Can you
can't.
repeat the
Just raise your
question?
hand. Just raise
I'm not
your hand.
responding. I'm wondering. Do you mean like should we or do we in general have the?
Do we have a moral
obligation?
responsibility
In
to stop
general?
a
Okay.
genocide?
Okay.
In general, yes.
I would hope, yeah.
Who the fuck would disagree with like we have a moral responsibility to stop people being killed if we have the power
Okay,
to?
that's the round. That's the round. So we gotta move on. All right.
Initiation of the use of force is always immoral.
Okay. So all right. Look. So we are gonna go into the voting round, but before we do that, we have a very special guest, who will not be included in the voting. But they made a request to the channel. They're a good person, so we're gonna help them out. Hey, boss.
Yeah.
Hey.
What up?
You wanted to say something to someone?
Yeah, I gotta say, it's first of all, can you hear me all right?
Yeah. I'll give you 5 minutes.
Okay, I appreciate it. I'm going to start my clock right here because, oh my God, it's first of all, I really want to say I appreciate everything that Kyosho and Stardust had to say. I really appreciate that. It's great listening to you two. And while I don't, I certainly had some different agreements with other people, particularly folks on the left, about the subject of war for oil. I really am most certifiably by far in disbelief at everything that Redneck had to say. The idea that the United States is one engaging in these ridiculous wars, like on behalf of other people to no benefit to itself, is ridiculous for two reasons. First of all, in wars from Vietnam to Iraq to Afghanistan, and let's talk about Afghanistan in particular, since we're talking about forever wars, and I guess that's the quintessential one. The United States has not fought on its own, but has fought with allies, not just its NATO allies, not just its European and Asian allies, but particularly with the people of Afghanistan. America lost 2,500 soldiers in Afghanistan during this 20-year war. The Afghan National Army lost 66,000 soldiers fighting the Taliban, fighting to try and establish some kind of state other than one run by the Taliban autocracy. So that's one point. The idea that the people of Afghanistan haven't fought, haven't sacrificed, haven't done their part. They have more than done their part, especially considering this isn't a war they asked for. And while I'd say the war in Afghanistan is absolutely just, to try and frame it as some favor we've done to them, or favor we've done for them, to say that they haven't taken their part, that we've done all the lion's share. No, we provided the lion's share of money, but they've done the lion's share of dying. So that's a real important point to make. Second point to make. This idea that we don't get something out of this world, that we have somehow been taken advantage of, that we have somehow lost from America's interventions. Look, if you want to be a lefty and you want to say, America, I got a reflexive distaste for America, fine, that's one thing. But if your position is at baseline, America first, America best, America number one, then I have no idea how you can look at the history of the 20th century, which is divided into two halves, and look at that beginning half, that first half of the 20th century, where our country lost 500,000 people in 2 world wars, both of which we were dragged into without ever seeking to be a part of them, right? How you can look at that and say, let's go back to a world where the United States isn't actively engaged in the world. Let's go back to a world where, hey, you know what? We're at the mercy of the rest of the world, because you know what? We really don't need to get involved. We don't need to be a part of this. Let other people fight their own battles. No. What the United States has done since then, in the last 50 years of engagement in Europe and Asia, has been to turn the countries, particularly Germany, that dragged us into 2 world wars into allies. And in exchange for doing that, we provide a small amount of money compared to the whole federal budget as a share of their defense. It is a bargain deal. NATO, yeah, you know what? Maybe we are in some way subsidizing their military, but at the end of the day, what we are also doing is subsidizing an ally and ensuring that we don't have to deal with another great power war against these people. So I just can't believe how you can look at that. You can look at NATO, you can look at the rest of the world and say, nah, you know what? The United States is just not benefiting. We're just giving away to all these lazy people and blah, 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 blah. No, it's ridiculous. And if you really believe in America first, and yeah, that's real cute. This guy do get slammed by Vosh. Hey, maybe you got something substantive to say to what I'd say, and I'll be here for 2 more minutes so you can let me know. But beyond that, what you're doing right now when you say America first, what you're doing is you are putting America last, and you're doing so on an argument of ignorance and disrespect, not only to America, but to all of our allies around the world, including the people of Afghanistan who have fucking fought and died to try and live a better life alongside of us.
Redneck, you can respond if you want.
Can you breathe now? You okay? You okay?
Redneck, I have seen you.
I have seen you. I ain't your time. I ain't asking you for the answer. I don't need your ugly answer. Watch the hairspray. Watch the hairspray. Watch the hairspray.
Bastiat, let him respond. It's fine.
Nah, he's okay. He's all right. He'll be okay. He gets real hyped up. It's all right. I'm glad I still live in your head too, Bastiat. It means the hair's holding it down. Look, my take is very simple. For those of us who have served, and for those that have been in combat arms and all these other things, you know, the pogs, the boomers, the nationalists, all these other bad people that have lost their lives fighting for these other people to help them get their own country up. That conversation was never made, and I never made that argument. But I said, why is it different that we go to fight for their country to build it more so than they do? And you took offense claiming it's all or nothing. And it pretty much is, in my opinion, at this point, because we've proven that we've been over there losing more lives than they have, except from genocides, right? You mentioned all these numbers about genocide. Yeah, in the first Gulf, there was more Iraqis and civilians lost.
You didn't even listen to what I said. 66,000 Afghan soldiers fighting by our side dying next to 2,500 American soldiers dying. You just totally ignored that.
That's well trained. That's well trained. How many people live? How many people live there? Tell me, how only 66,000 for their whole nation, for their whole country?
No,
and when we've been losing lives for years. Let's go, Bastiat. You literally want to tell us that we need to build police everywhere. We're losing human fucking lives for another country that we have no value to stay there.
That's why you are so ignorant, and why the rest of the America First movement is so ignorant too. You don't understand the idea of real national interest.
No, I understand it because I fucking held a gun and defended you, cocksucker. What did you do? Read a fucking book? Get the fuck out of here with your bullshit.
The fact that you
didn't sign your fucking name to support your country. You just made a whole bunch of garbage and I'm on the fucking internet. Read a fucking book and be another lawyer. Go for it. That's all you're doing.
Look, buddy. Hey, I respect your service, all right? And I respect the importance of your service.
No, you don't. You don't respect service because those that have served do not want to fucking go to no endless war. You are the one who doesn't respect service when you say that. You are saying we should throw away the gains of generations of American soldiers who fought and who patrolled around the world to try and ensure that the world wouldn't be run by the Nazis and the Imperial Japanese. We're not there to imperialize them, are we? Are we colonizing? What are we doing?
They're there to help ourselves.
We're using the resources, I thought. I thought we're going there for oil. I thought we're going there for money. I thought they were going to expand commercial markets.
You're not talking to any lefty communists, redneck. You're talking to somebody who believes in a better future for the United States. And the better future for the United States comes from active engagement by the United States and the rest of the world.
Instead of carrying them still. And they're not even paying the bill.
That's ridiculous.
Okay.
That's so ridiculous.
You know it's the fucking fact.
You don't understand this, dude. I have told you now. What you have is a choice between two options. You can get engaged in the world like we've done over the last 50 years and have a relatively successful time of it with relatively few American deaths, Or you can disengage like we did in the first half of the 20th century, pay trillions of dollars in global wars, and suffer 500,000 dead in 2 world wars you didn't ask to be a part of. That's your choice. There is no disengagement in the world because America's too goddamn big for it. It's going to be involved one way or another, whether you like it or not.
All right. Okay. Well, thank you so much.
So we keep losing lives.
For that.
That's confirmed.
We are going to lose lives either way.
No end to the war.
We lost
No
500,000.
end to the war.
All right. I just want to say thank you very much, Prime, for the chance to express that. I do appreciate it.
No problem.
We love you, Bastiat.
Take care, y'all.
Nice to meet you.
Good to see you again, Bastiat.
Okay, all right. We're back into it. After a brief sweet interlude. So we're going to be voting now. I'm going to be voting for who you're going to keep, not kick. Keep, not kick. Okay, the person you find the most interested, a person that was the most fun. So all right. So let's jump into it. And before that, of course, raise your hands so everyone knows who you are, just to be sure. Go ahead. Biggs, raise your hand. Doobie. There we go. KOE. Kill. Ninetails. Redneck. There's that. Thank you. And Stardust, please. Okay. All right. So here is the vote. Here's the vote. Okay, the link is right there in chat. Everyone, click on the link. Click on the link. Now's the time. Vote now. Don't vote later. If you vote later, you're gonna miss out. Oh, and I'm put the timer back up for 5 minutes. 5 minutes to vote. Now, jump on in. Now's the time to do it. All right. So okay. How y'all feeling? You want to say something?
I call all of Bastiat's troll joke votes that you're gonna get. I call them no givesies backsies.
I am significantly over caffeinated, so I apologize to the other panelists if I'm a little bit loud. It's very fun so far, though. The KOE's like giving me some energy. You know, it's like the wind under my sails. I'm loving it. Right? Let's go, vote go.
Yes. This motherfucker spitting. Yes, vote.
I'd really
KOE,
appreciate.
that's right.
I'd really appreciate it if you guys clicked my name. Obviously, you don't have to, but my heart.
Oh, that's going to be tough to top now. But folks, remember, here on the Prime K's panel, you need to follow Prime K's and you need to join Prime in the drive to 5,000 subscribers on YouTube. We can get there, folks. With this amazing, erudite, beautiful, amazing audience, there's no way we can't get there. Come on, folks. They said it couldn't be done. We're going to prove them all wrong. Prime K's on YouTube. Like, share, subscribe. Let everybody know about it. And yes, also, vote Phil KOE, because I'm never above a little bit of shameless self-promotion.
Actually, KOE, I want to contradict you in 2 ways. First of all, vote Ninetails. Secondly, we're not here to raise subscribers for Prime. We're here to raise money for your dear nephew, who's I don't have the link personally, but I think that link should be put again into chat. Because just because we've hit that goal doesn't mean we stop. We keep raising money for these people. They live in the American healthcare system. They need all the money they can get. So people, please, if I don't know who can post that link, but someone please do it, because we already did so much and we can do so much more. And I love you, chat. I love you.
Can we raise money?
I love you guys. This is amazing.
Can we please raise money for KOE's mic?
Yeah, KOE.
That's true too.
Just some advice. Turn your gain down.
I've got a mic recommendation for you, KOE. So the mic I use right now, this is called a Shure SM58. It's a dynamic microphone. If you put a compressor on it on your computer, you'll be able to stop the gain and you'll be able to hold it in your hand. It's specifically like a handheld microphone. This is the one I use for shows and stuff. It's the show microphone that's been used for the last like 50, 60 years. I highly recommend it. It's a low-cost microphone. Fantastic. And if you put that with a good compressor, you'll be loving it, dude.
You know what? That's my next purchase. My daughter's birthday is just in a few days. So after that, yes, my next big purchase is a new mic.
Another thing about your gain is that it's better to have it turned down as much as you can handle and then turn all your software settings up to compensate. Sure. Because the gain itself is actually what's giving you the most of the problem.
All right.
So give that a try if you could. But other than that, of course, we're happy to have you here. Everyone, now it's time to vote. Voting's almost done. Vote for who you want to stay. Which of these wonderful individuals want to stay? 2 more people will be eliminated this round. 2 more people will be eliminated. So very exciting stuff. We are still raising money for KOE and his family. Hit that GoFundMe page. Unfortunately, his nephew is going through childhood cancer, but we have an opportunity to help them out. They've hit their goal. They hit their goal immediately because of the kind of people within this community.
Amazing, folks. Now, I did turn my mic way down and my software way up, so I hope my beautiful summer sounds coming through okay now.
It's actually going well.
Yeah, it sounds a lot better.
Yeah.
Thank you. Well, at least I got that adjusted shortly before I probably get the boot. No. But hey, we'll see what happens. But regardless, all of you beautiful people in this amazing, amazing community, thank you. I'm speechless. I'm taken aback. My brother, well, okay, that might be a bit of an exaggeration. I'm rarely ever speechless, but my brother is speechless. He's completely speechless. But yes, I thank you all. This incredible community is a blessing. Every one of you, thank you. And most of all you in the community, raise a glass to yourselves. Come on. It's Saturday night, lovely evening. Raise a glass to yourselves, folks. Thank you.
Thanks so much. Yes. All right. We are crushing it. Only 15 seconds left. Please get that vote in now. Now's the time to do it. Don't be heartbroken when the person you want to stay leaves afterwards, okay? So we're going to jump right into the elimination round. Hold on, I'm going to put spooky music on. Spooky music. Okay, here we go. Spooky music. Spooky music is back on. All right. Here we go. Let's go to the browser. Let's hit refresh. What do we got? Oh, wow. Fortunes have changed, man, by a lot. Okay. So, number 1 for voting, it was Stardust. Stardust, you made it number 1 on top of the field. Are you surprised?
Yeah, really surprised.
Oh yeah.
I thought it would have been eliminated like first time.
No,
first
you're crushing
round.
it. Next, the second person is Kyo-san. Kyo-san, nice work.
My election's been stolen from me. It's not the steal. This is no good. Like, I don't know what happened here. It's not good enough. Chat, you need to vote harder. What are you doing? You're bad citizens.
Okay.
It's okay. It just means you get to wreck me
Doesn't
later.
Australia have compulsory voting too?
And
true.
The bottom three here are Doobie. That burns. It burns. Biggs and KOE. Biggs and KOE. You guys both tied for votes. But yeah, Doobie, Biggs, KOE at the bottom of this pile. So what we'll do is go through our elimination round. The top 2 will be able to choose. You didn't actually get to choose last time. It just happened by default. But yeah, among the 3, you'll be able to choose who to give up or who to get rid of. So you're going to be DMing me. You're going to DM me. You're not going to say it. You're going to DM me. You're going to get rid of. But before you do that, let's give them a chance to plead their case. We'll start with Doobie. Doobie, why should you stay?
It's Saturday night. I would like a beer or 2. I need alcohol. Please set me free.
Okay. Well, you've heard them. But all right, next we'll go to Biggs. Biggs, why should you stay?
All right, so I just want to first and foremost say I'm just happy to be here to begin with. Again, I was a stowaway from the start. I do think I have some pretty good takes on things. Like I said, I try to keep a very balanced opinion, very open-minded, so I think I can add value to the conversation. But again, I just want to thank Prime for doing what he does. I want to thank everybody that's on the panel. You guys are all amazing. I love you all. I love all the chat. Everybody subscribe to Prime. Throw those donations to KOE. I love you all. If I'm taking off, great. I'm just happy to be here. If not, I'd love to proceed. Thank you.
Okay, great, fantastic. And last but not least, KOE.
Why, thank you, good sir. I think the main reason is now you get a much more unadulterated, beautiful summer sounds that are my voice, and there won't be nearly the same issues going forward, and I am so looking forward to getting into these other topics with all of you beautiful people. I'm really hoping that I do not suffer the over-the-top rope elimination like I did last time. And it was, again, it was the steal of the century. I might have to go ahead and hire Rudy Giuliani for this one and appeal it to the Pennsylvania Supreme Court. I don't know how far I'm going to have to go this, but that was the true steal last time, folks. But this time, we are going to set it right. And so, yes, folks, I'm hoping to stay here for this amazing panel with you amazing people on this amazing community. And with that, I yield.
Okay, all right. So, individuals, if you have not done so already, send me a DM with the person you're going to eliminate. Send me that DM. Stardust, send me the DM.
Man. Thought I could get out of it. Frick.
So one of them do be Biggs or Kiwi name, please. Now. Okay. That's unfortunate. Because now special rules kick in. Biggs, both of them voted to get rid of you. But we still need two people. We still need two people to go, right? So, Biggs, you are now in a position to decide between KOE and who's Doobie as to who to leave. Okay.
I think Doobie would like to leave, so I think we should set him free.
Okay.
Can I make my case for?
Why would you let this man go?
Okay, make your case.
I mean, he needs a beer. I've already had my beer, so he should be free to have a beer.
He's had like 2 beers. He's lying.
I mean, I don't know. I'm not going to strive.
Sure.
I just want to say, Mr. Biggs, earlier I was pretty rude to you. I asked you how can you justify breeding, and after the last round, you made a lot of points, said a lot of things, and now I'm even more convinced that you shouldn't be breeding. So take that as you will. Please, now use your head.
Well, I guess that settles it. I'm assuming.
Mr. Biggs, your microphone's muted.
Yeah, if you're talking, Biggs, you're muted. Biggs?
Hello?
Yeah, there you go. All right.
So sorry. I was pushing the wrong push to talk button. So I wanted to say is Doobie, I love taking advice from a frog. You're amazing. I've seen you on many panels before. I love your takes. I do think things get a little spicy sometimes, but I do not take anything personally, and I appreciate everything you do. And again, I just want to thank everybody on the stream because you guys are all amazing. So that's all.
I think he's taking it personally that you're not taking it personally. What
I know is like I said, I just like having sex. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, right?
Oh, there
just
you go.
Because the byproduct of sex is breeding. I guess that's just what we have to take with it.
There we go. All right. Well, anyway, thank you both for being here. Really do appreciate it. Biggs, you don't stream, do you? Right?
I do stream occasionally, but not enough to shout out. But thank you, everybody. It was a pleasure. You guys have a great night. KOE, Redneck, Kaiso, Stardust, Ninetails. Good luck. I wish you all the best. Prime, again, everybody subscribe to Prime. Shoot a donation over to KOE. It's a great cause. You guys take it easy. Thank you.
Yeah.
God bless you, sir.
And finally, and I did shout out just cuts. But also we have our good friend Doobie, who's going down that dusty trail. Doobie, shout out what you're doing.
Yeah, so I help run the Politics Discord server. It's the safest space on Discord. Very kind community full of very charitable, friendly people. Please join. You'll find the link in chat, and I'd love to see you there.
That's right. His Politics Discord is filled with nice people, just like Doobie. All right. So thank you so much, the both of you. Have a good one. And yeah, we'll see you later.
See you later.
All right. Okay. So here we go. To the last round. Oh, second to last round actually. Second to last round. Next, the third topic will be. Oh yeah. Topic 3. This week, the U.S. suffered a tragedy with the Atlanta massage parlor shootings. The Atlanta police have been widely ridiculed for a press conference where they were perceived as being compassionate towards the suspected killer, who was a white man. Considering that police are also criticized for their violence and cruelty when it comes to minority suspects, can we trust them and the wider justice system to fairly investigate/prosecute this murder? Okay, yeah. So just in case you had missed the that press conference, it was not great. The police are making excuses for a person who apparently is an admitted killer, a mass murderer. And yeah, so it was looked really weird, especially in comparison to all the many times we've seen them operate when the person is someone of color. So I want to say, yeah, can we trust the police and the wider justice system to actually find justice in this case? 25 minutes left on the clock. I'll jump into it.
So I want to push back a little bit on the idea that like of what was just said about the police conference. Now I agree to some extent, but it's been overblown a little bit about what they said. The police was clip shipped pretty hard. If you watch the context of what was said, they were specifically describing about what the police said afterwards. Right? These were compounding things, and he was saying that he was like a mentally unwell individual who was basically at the end of their rope. Right? And
I did watch it, and I've never heard the police say that in my life about somebody. Why are the police just suddenly saying this now?
What do you mean? Why the police?
Like literally, he's having a bad day. He's at the end of his rope. That's pure speculation. They can't actually know that.
That's not what they said.
That is what he said.
They can't know they did because they spoke.
I watched it.
That's what they're talking about.
I fucking watched it.
They were specifically talking about their interview with him, right? Like,
yeah,
so
exactly.
That's how they know.
But when do police actually make justifications for people? Never.
They're not making a justification.
Yes, they are.
No, they're not.
I'm sorry you didn't. I'm sorry you
about the
didn't get that. I don't know
individual's
how
mental
I don't know how people expect your analysis to be any good if you can't even get that simple point.
Because previous to that, they were talking about his motivation, right? What he said his motivation was sexually based, and this was a mentally unwell individual who was in their rope, right? They gave this reason, and here's the compounding reason as to why it happened today, right?
Everybody says they're having a bad day. The police never repeat that.
It wasn't because of a bad fucking day. This guy literally told everybody why he killed him. Why are we attaching racism to something where the motherfucker says, I killed X people? He acknowledged why. He had a sex addiction. He felt in his crazy ass fucking way that, oh, I go to these massage parlors to get fucking hooked up. And unfortunately in America, majority of these massage parlors are owned by Asian people. It was literally him having a fucking preference of Asian women and massage parlors and his addiction. So what's he do? Oh, I can't help myself, so I'm just gonna go kill him to make sure I can help myself. He was fucking nuts. You don't have to add racism to it. He was a fucking lunatic. Jesus Christ.
So like, why did he choose massage parlors and why not other prostitutes? Right? Like, there's specifically
he clearly, if you look at they even brought up his history. He had fetishes. He was in a fucking rehab center over this bullshit with another person. That other person is a witness on there. He was a roommate with him. He said that guy escaped in rehab to go get a happy ending and, taken care of and serviced through a massage parlor. That was his avenue. Okay, it was his avenue. It was his choice.
So why specifically those massage parlors?
Personal style of shooting up a place. This was clearly fueled by misogyny and racism, dehumanizing these people and making it seem like it's okay to shoot them.
Now, let me just inject something here real quick. Whoa. Just one moment. Now, when we're talking about we're trying to figure out the mind of madness here, something to keep in mind, when John Lennon shooter, when they actually asked him later, he said he had read The Catcher in the Rye, and that motivated him to get rid of the phonies. The person who shot Ronald Reagan, he said he did it so that he would be closer to a plot line in a movie Jodie Foster was in, so that Jodie Foster would fall in love with him. Sometimes, we can all see, there's like some sort of breakdown in the reasoning center of the brains of some of these folks when they just fucking blow a fuse and go off and do this crazy shit. So now granted there's something to this, but again, when we're trying to look into the mind of madness, we're trying to put it through our own lens of people with reasonable brains. Like all of us on this panel, I might disagree with most of you on a lot of things, but you all have reasonable brains. And we're all trying to see this action through the lens of that reasonable brain. And I'm just trying to posit that, again, the mind of madness is a very hard thing to read.
Yeah, I'm not attributing like full rationality to this person. I'm in fact saying that they weren't rational and they were unable to inhibit themselves from acting misogynistically and on their racist views.
Yeah, so to be clear, I don't think it's like I think like race. This is one of those terms where racism is like it's descriptive, but it's probably not the best of the term because it's not their outward motivations that we're like I explicitly kill these people because they're Asian. I hate Asians. Yada yada. This isn't it, right? It's this idea that there's some underlying thing here. The reason why they went to get happy endings, and went to massage parlors and this specific ecosystem rather than like seeing other sex workers in like Atlanta, right? Like there's this specific thing was probably underlined by some like level of like racial fetishism, right? Now, how much it played into it, I don't know, but they did specifically choose these tugs. They did specifically go to these massage parlors before, right? So there may be some underlying racial element. This is one of those things that we're talking about, but it's not explicit. Their explicit given reason was the sex thing, right? But that sex thing seems to feed from that fetishism.
Redneck, is that the best response you've got?
It's
If
the
I,
fucking truth.
if I have
You're
some
literally
space
looking
here-
for more to pile on because of your fucking perception. The guy killed the people. He told them why. And that's not enough. You still want to pile on more drama and trauma to the fucking situation.
So to you, there's
Jesus
absolutely
fucking Christ.
and I love how for you.
Okay, I'll tell you what. Do you really want to know? Let's go ahead. Let's lay this shit out there. Who do you think? Who do you think? No, let's lay it. Let's lay it the fuck out. Who do you think causes the most? Who do you think causes the most harm to Asian Americans from another race? Name another fucking race.
I was about to ask you a question. So you're saying that?
Please answer that question first. Please answer that question first.
Can you even handle my question? Because I just want to
Answer
know
the question first.
How do you know
what other race causes the most violence against Asian Americans?
Oh, don't say it. Don't say it.
I don't know. Why don't you tell me?
You don't know, but you're accusing this guy because he's a white guy. It has to be racist. It can't be a mental illness or he's just fucking crazy.
Yeah, we know.
Jesus Christ.
Okay.
How do you know?
Can I say something, please?
Yeah,
I haven't had anything to say yet. I would like to interject.
Everyone shut up for a second. Everyone, okay? Hold on. Nine Tails, you can respond. Sorry, we're going to get to you, but Nine Tails, respond.
Thank you. So, Redneck, I find it interesting that your side is always trying to chalk these things up to coincidence when you have no reason to believe that. How do you know that this is pure coincidence when at the exact same time anti-Asian sentiment has become violent in the United States?
And who's committing most of that violence against Asian Americans?
You're avoiding my question.
How do you know? You're clearly trying to correlate what happened to a fucking racist.
You clearly wanted to be a coincidence.
You're saying he's killed out of race. That's it. You said he's killed out of race, even though he said he had a sex addiction. That's it. But it's a race thing.
You're just
Redneck, just say who it is. Just say who it is, Redneck. Just say who it is, please. Just say who it is.
Black Americans attack Asian Americans on more percentage than any other race.
So I'm just going to.
It's unfortunate.
Redneck has absolutely no idea how this is a coincidence. He just has it like some sort of whataboutism, and then like he's sure that it's a coincidence because that's his.
Everybody knows the fucking answer except for you, bitch. What the fuck? You're sitting here talking all that shit. Read some fucking numbers.
I don't believe you.
I heavily disagree with that word.
So yeah, don't you? Yeah.
You can disagree with it. I ain't calling you that personally, did I? Did I say something to you personally?
Redneck,
nope.
please.
That's how I speak.
Redneck, holy shit! Everyone, stop talking. Redneck, no, knock it off, right? Please. Let's all engage with each other respectfully. We can make fun of each other's ideas. It's not like throw ad homs like that. No need to do that. Okay. Moving on.
Fair. Whatever. Got you.
Okay. You can call people's ideas stupid and idiotic, but all right. So Stardust, please.
Okay. So first off, to get back to the original topic, I think it's super unfortunate that that this crime committer, this murderer, is being characterized this way. Regardless of whether he was mentally ill or not, this is a symptom of a larger issue, and that issue is misogyny, right? As I said the other day, this is a crime. This is a misogyny-based crime with racial undertones to it. Now, what I will say is he chose a massage parlor because apparently that's where he got his needs met, and thus he associated massage parlors with his addiction. What the issue is he is viewing his addiction. He is shouldering all of the burden on the other party, on the woman, right, who are not responsible for his addiction. There is a let me finish. There is a huge problem with misogyny in this country, whether we want to believe it or not. People always try to say, oh, feminism, like, oh, you guys go to another country if you don't like it here. Well, guess what? We still have gender-based violence every day. We still have femicide every day. We still have sexual violence on women every day. And while there's going to be somebody in the crowd who say, "What about men? What about the men?" Yeah, men have issues too, but there is there's a huge problem with the fact that as a society, when a man commits a crime against a woman, he's written off as having issues mentally, and he's having issues with getting laid or whatever. The real issue, it's not about getting laid or getting affection. The real issue is that he views women as lesser, right? And thus he feels the reason that he feels justified in taking out his anger and his violence on women. And he and this is like an echo of of the fraternity house shooting. You guys remember the fraternity house shooting? That guy came and he shot up the fraternity house because he felt like he wasn't given the attention and the sexual attention that he was entitled to. So yeah, that's my opinion on this.
Go ahead.
So like, I don't think anyone would. Sorry, go on.
No, Kyo-san, you haven't gone yet. And then we'll go to Ninetales.
Yeah, I don't think anyone would disagree that this is like. I don't even think the any of the case people investigating the case or anything disagree with like the reason this person's like a misogynist, or like that their attitude towards sex is very negative and what they did was a problem, right? And the idea is that they had like compounding issues, right? So like we all understand like things don't happen in a vacuum, and I agree that like what you mentioned before is like a massive fucking problem. There's still like a massive issue with misogyny in the US, but I'd be interested to like know what do we do about it? What do we do about these things, right? What do we do about this pile? Should we take any legislative action about this pile shooting? Can we take anything to try and solve the problem that was highlighted here, right? Because I think like just like shooting at this person's motivations, I think we can all agree on the fact that this dude was a misogynist, and that what he did was like really wrong, right? We can go back and forth on whether we think this was like racially motivated or had some in part racial motivation, right? It's that part is probably not like super interesting, right? But we can all agree that there was a shooting, that this dude was a misogynist, had negative attitudes towards sex and women, who was like fucking mentally unwell, right? What do we do about all of these things? How do we stop this in the future? Because this just happens over and over in the US. Does anyone have any?
Maybe Ninetales.
Oh yeah, I hadn't thought much about that, but I think that is an interesting question. Wanted to quickly agree strongly with Stardust that this is a compounding thing where victims get blamed for enticing the shooter, and the shooter gets rationalized for their goals. Finally, I wanted to address the actual question: should the police be investigating this? So sorry, 1 second. I just got oh my god, phones. Oh. Well, anyways, the police seem incompetent at determining hate as a motive unless the hate is overt. The police have a track record of speaking on behalf of the perpetrators of white misogynistic violence when it successfully targets groups with which they also serve to silence. I'm sorry, I'm not really good at reading out loud. And this includes things like victim shaming and stuff like that. When we think about Dylan Roof, and they tend to assume that there is no motivation or reason. And to assume that there's no reason for motivation on behalf of the police is preposterous. The police have too many powers to avoid prosecution for abuse of their powers. Obviously, things like qualified immunity shouldn't be applicable for things like investigations when the stakes are so high. And finally, we should be reallocating police resources to more manageable and accountable organizations dedicated to investigating crimes, as this eliminates the chances of bias interfering with the investigation. Plus, the police also have a lot of invested interest to do with their community and stuff like that.
I will say in the original question of can the police be trusted to investigate this, even if you do have, like in this instance, the cop who did the officer who did the press conference. Yeah, the conference. Boy, howdy, I bet there's a guy that wishes he could do a do-over. If there's anybody who ever wished they could do a do-over on that, I bet he's one of them. But yeah, even though, yeah, he said some stuff that really wasn't that great, I think we can all trust the fact that this individual really only has two choices going forward. The most likely spends the entirety of the rest of his life behind bars, or The second choice is maybe sort of probably actually not really. They let him out when he's got a beard down to here and maybe 1 or 2 marbles rolling around upstairs when he's like in his 80s or something. Those are really the only 2 choices that this person has going forward. So I have no fear that this person's going to be let out again. Like that's not my fear going forward, because again, like we do have, for all of its flaws, a system where there can be at least some objective observation of it. So I don't have any fear of this person getting free. And I yield back.
Everybody doesn't. They don't even understand. He took the guilt for every murder. That guaranteed him death for every one of them. He's never coming out. So you could add on and keep piling on anything that you perceive that he did it for. But there is historical system. He'd been to rehab. He'd been in the system before. He'd been arrested before. I mean, like, we have history that this fucking dude was a lunatic. And I'm not arguing that Stardust about the misogynistic temperament at all. It just frustrates me that we want to pile on other perceptive things to something that this guy point blank's telling us. So why don't we? I mean, I'm not saying that he's fucking right, but if he's telling us this, we should investigate this shit. And there is history there. People
don't you see how people are equally frustrated when you come in and be like, well, I just don't want this to be racist?
I think it is racially, there are racial undertones, right?
Hold up. Okay, what does racism have to do with the fact that a man went to something that he preferenced?
So again,
So why did he preference those? Why did he preference Asian massage parlors?
Can I answer actually?
Other sex workers.
Okay. So again, my joke on the screen here, which is not a joke, there was actually a website all the way up until 2019 that was called Rub Maps. And people were using it on the internet freely to tell you which massage parlors gave you happy endings and further services. Like, look this dude's history up. You can read about this guy and see all of this stuff. It is fucking disgusting what they had. There is still an underground website world of this shit.
And not other sex workers.
Okay, I don't know what happens in Australia. But I can tell you that I just got back from Northern California, so here comes the anecdotal Andy. I didn't see many Irish massage parlors. I didn't see many white massage parlors. I saw a ton of Japanese massage parlors, Asian massage parlors.
Let me respond to some points. Keo, I am waiting to respond, by the way.
Sorry. Again, Atlanta has history where they've acknowledged that there is a very large problem in the massage parlor community, and it is where sex trafficking is happening. Yet they have done nothing about it, have they? Because this dude felt
Atlanta also has a very healthy sex work industry.
So hold on.
That isn't some massage parlor. Sorry.
No problem. We got 2 people. So let's go Stardust and then Ninetales.
Ninetales first, and then me.
Okay, because you didn't have any to talk, but that's fine. Ninetales.
I did get cut off, and I was responding to Redneck, to be honest, and I've been waiting. So yeah, Redneck, I can agree that if everyone was going around calling everything racist, that'd be frustrating. But don't you see how people who are aware of racism might get frustrated when you see anti-Asian sentiment and Asian people being targeted all around the U.S. right now? At the same time that this happens, and you just want to go with the fact that
it's a sheer coincidence. Anti-Asian sentiment has not stopped? It's on the uptick.
But it's just recently become violent.
On the uptick because of COVID. But if you want to correlate this death to COVID and racism,
how do you know it's a
trying to dogpile more bullshit.
How do you know it's a coincidence? Just tell me how you know it's a coincidence.
What is your fucking gain
likewise,
here? Him telling you that I killed people because I wanted to fuck them, but for me not to fuck them, I have to kill them because I can't control myself.
What's your gain from avoiding the possibility? Likewise, what's your gain from avoiding the possibility that this could be racist?
Because racism being thrown around nowadays for everything, and you're not going to find it anymore.
Okay, and
I'm
trying to empathize with you, saying, yeah, that would be frustrating, but it's also frustrating when people go around saying, well, this can't be racist. Well, this can't be racist because I don't want it to be. No, but that's not a reason.
Okay.
Why is it that everything that happens, y'all start to see a color associated with it instead of just another person?
And why is it you never want to hear that? Why is it that literally you're a monkey who hears no evil?
Okay, here's what you're really upset about. What you're really upset about is that there's actually a class of this existing where you have a ton of massage parlors, Asian owned, from Asian, Korean, Vietnamese. I mean, all Asian areas, they have massage parlors. And you know what else has happened? Since the 90s, they've had large swaths of these being in the very highly dense urban areys. And it's like these correlations of crimes against the race and the areas they're in, the liquor store, the nail salon. These are cultural things that are happening in America. And it isn't just a yesterday problem because the dude couldn't control his dick behavior. It has been going on. You're just wanting to pay attention to it because you want to project it's all racism. And this guy is not saying it is. Sure, he had a preference. I'm not going to deny he had a preference for Asian women. I'm not
to be
denying
clear,
that.
Redneck.
There's nothing racist about having a fucking
Nobody here is
preference.
saying this was. Nobody here is saying it was racist. People are saying there are racial undertones to his motivation and to his fetish. That's it.
Yes.
I just want
the difference.
Sorry,
I just
hold
want
on,
to
hold on, one second, hold on. Stardust, you want to take your turn now?
Yes, I do. Okay, so the issue here is now I don't know if there's a term in feminist theory called benevolent sexism, right? And what that is it's something that's seen typically as like more positive, but on the outside, but it actually trivializes women. Yeah, it actually puts them in a lower status, right? And I don't know if there's an equivalent term within racism, but I almost am tempted to call this benevolent racism, right? If this guy had a preference for Asian women because he thought that they were submissive, or he thought that or he just liked them, right? And so I still think this is primarily a crime of misogyny, right? I'm not denying that there is a mental illness component within the US as far as crime goes, but at the end of the day, there are tons of people who commit misogynistic crimes without pre-existing mental illnesses, right? This man had a sex addiction, but he still, because of his view of woman, his societal view of woman, he put all of the blame on the woman that he would use, that he let's remember, he used woman, right, to satisfy his needs. These are the bottom of society, people who are struggling to make paychecks to put food on the table, who probably have kids at home, right? And now 8 people are dead. So I think for us to boil it all down to mental illness, mental problems, is hugely simplifying a societal problem that we have, a social sickness that we have, where we put this blame on women, like this, like she was the one, she's at fault for my addiction, for me not being able to control my addiction, right? It's again, there are crimes committed against women every day. We don't see them publicized as much because they're not on the mass scale like these are. But femicide is rampant, and femicide by gun is like 67% of the femicide that is committed. So yeah.
KOE?
Going to say is now what we have on this panel is one hell of a group of gumshoes. We got a pretty this would make some really good detectives, because here's the thing, folks. Out of all of the motivations you heard here, any one of them could actually be 100% true or 0% true. We don't know exactly, because we can't really, again, none of us have the power to mind read, but we can. So we have to use our intelligence guided by experience to get to something close to. It's kind of like when you have a theory in science. It's not going to be precise at the beginning, but you have to work through it. But what I'm saying here is any of these motivations you heard could potentially be it, or it could be something again, that's the terrible things about these tragedies is we try to analyze them because secretly in the back of our minds, we're trying to think, okay, how can I make sure that this doesn't happen to me? And Nine Tails, you look like you've been waiting quite patiently. I yield to you.
Okay, yeah, so I find this, I'd actually like to thank all the people who voted for Redneck. I'm glad he's here, because what we have here is the perfect example of the monkey who sees and hears no evil. And this is what conservatives do with their narrative. They're actually kind of reliant on it. When you see people pushing back on Jordan Peterson for his misogynistic victim-blaming views, where he says that women are to blame for wearing makeup when they get raped, this is why people freak out, because they literally people like Redneck just want to avoid any causality between there. Like, there's more than just correlation. We've studied this. So it's really, really, really funny to me that Redneck's best argument is, I don't want to see the link between potential racism here.
Redneck can respond to that.
Yeah, so I already posted in chat the link to this article that literally states who the victims were, and I'll just read down them as a racist person. This would make sense. I mean, let's see. 2 people died at the scene. They later confirmed that the victims were 2 Asian women, a white woman, a white man, and a Hispanic man. That's clear
no
racism,
racism,
right
anybody.
there.
Wait, why,
No
why did
racism.
he choose massage
We're
parlors?
fine
Why
now.
did he choose massage parlors?
It
Why
was
did he
his
choose
getting
massage
caught up on the
parlors?
wrong detail.
So why did
We're
he
getting
choose
caught up
massage
on the
parlors
wrong
as his
detail.
preference? Why did he choose massage parlors as his preference for sexual? Like, it's because
That's his fucking thing. That's what we need to talk to him about, right? That's why we need to ask him. And there's history there that he had a mental fucking illness, and he felt that's where he could go get his fix.
So we
The
understand
fact
there
that
are.
he-
When he could have gone there,
let
when he
me-
could have
wait,
gone
guys.
somewhere else, please. When he could have gone. I haven't been able to speak for like 2 minutes. This whole set of the panel. Please, when he has like options of where he can go for sex work outside of those massage parlors, right? And he chooses those massage parlors because they are predominantly Asian, right? Like this indicates something that's underlying, and it seems to be you keep ignoring this over and over. I don't know how.
No, you're not fucking listening.
I
His
am
preference
listening.
has nothing
Other
to do
people
with
got
fucking race. What is?
So why
it's
did-
a culture.
so why did he-
It is
why
a
did he
fucking.
choose those
They're
massage parlors?
people.
Why
They're
did he choose those
fucking
massage
people. Why
parlors
does
over
their
other
skin
sex workers?
color fucking matter? He killed
Why
more
did
than
he
just
choose
fucking
those
Asians.
massage parlors
Jesus
over
Christ.
other? Why did he choose those massage parlors
Jesus
over other sex workers? Why
So-
did he choose those massage parlors over other sex workers?
All right.
He'd like to get a happy fucking ending if you read the documents.
Is over.
Jesus.
Round is over. Okay. Great. Wonderful. So we're moving on. Yeah, I'm gonna put 5 more minutes on the clock, and we are going to go into voting. Right. This time we're actually only get rid of 1 person. And then we'll go into our final round. But yeah, same voting. We're voting to keep. Not kick, not kick, okay? The person you want to stay, the person you find the most interesting, the most informative, whatever it is, whatever your metrics are, that's what you're voting for. Before I put the link in chat, go ahead, KOE, raise your hand, please. All right, Kyo-san. I love when you do that. Ninetails. All right, Redneck, please. Middle finger? Yeah, I figured. All right, and Stardust. Okay, all right, thank you. So, moving on. The link is in chat now. The link is in chat. Please, vote now. Vote now. You're voting for which one of these individuals you want to stay. Not who you want to go. Stay. So pick your favorite. Who has been most interesting here, most fun. Yeah. And Redneck, I'll apologize to you. When Basquiat was coming in, I thought it was just gonna like meme at you. I didn't think he was gonna like go full force. I thought it was just gonna be a funny thing, but I should have warned you beforehand. That's my fault. I want to make sure everyone knows that. That is my fault. I should have like, hey, sent you a DM or something, but I didn't do that because I thought it was gonna be funny. But one or the other, I should have warned you. So I hope you can accept my apology there. But there it is. So let's keep going.
No need to apologize, man.
Okay, yeah. No, actually, no, there is. But thank you for being kind. Everyone, hurry up. Vote. Now's the time to do it. Jump in, vote for these wonderful individuals. Oh, fuck, I forgot to put the timer on. I just put like 3 minutes left on the clock. Shit, that's my fault. But everyone here, how are you feeling?
Wonderful.
Great. I can't wait for this to be over. I gotta pee.
Oh, just go pee.
Why don't you
Just
go
pee.
down?
I'm actually looking forward to
You
the
got
next
time,
one.
Stardust. Don't hold it. Jesus, it's
you're
bad.
We got 5
Chat,
minutes here.
Fuck your
Just
bladder up.
pee.
Get a
All I'm
kidney
gonna-
infection or something. Jesus.
All I'm gonna say is, chat,
Okay.
you really want me here for the next topic. I researched the shit out of that.
I am also very
I'm
excited
good,
for the
I'm
next
good.
topic. It's going to be hype. No, go now, because the next
Go
topic's going to be like.
go now.
It's
Just-
gonna. It's gonna take. Okay. It takes. I'm not like a dude. Dudes can go in like 30 seconds.
You're
It takes
giving
me
them
like a
performance
couple.
anxiety.
Okay.
Yeah, pressure her to pee more, guys.
All right. Look,
Yeah. All right.
if you want to hold it, it's. Oh, okay, never mind.
There we go.
All right. Yeah, we'll have it
I
back.
will be right back.
All right. Yeah, just go. Everyone, the link is in chat. please, everyone, vote right now. Vote. Don't be disappointed later on. Don't be heartbroken when the person you want to stay gets tossed. That's your fault, not my fault. Okay. We'll be voting for one person. Will be gone. But there'll be 2 people up on the chopping block, and we'll have the top vote getter pick. So let's do that right now. We have how many seconds? We have a minute and a half left. So while we're waiting, once again, thank you for the kind sub. That's awfully kind of you. Bread Sickle 99 for the hot tier 1 gift sub. While we're waiting around, hey, if you can, and if you have a few extra dollars around your pocket, we're helping our good friend KOE here. He's got a nephew who's going through childhood cancer. This community was already so kind as to help out and complete the goal. There's a GoFundMe that I put the link in the chat. We've already completed the goal, but if we can still help out, we can still raise money. So click that GoFundMe page. That's right there, ! KOE in chat. Click that link, and if you have some cash burning a hole in your pocket, please help us out. It's a worthy cause, so check it out, and I think you'll be happy with yourself. You can feel a lot better about yourself if you donate there.
Thank you, every last one of you in this community. You are a huge blessing. My heart goes out to every one of you, and thanks. I can't again. My brother is absolutely speechless. He doesn't know what to say. He's just couldn't be more grateful. My little nephew, just knowing that there's people out there, more than that, if you could just offer your prayers, folks, that's the most important thing of all. Just pray for that little guy. I mean, he's 8 years old. He's marvelous. He wants to grow up to be a ninja farmer, and that's just perfect. So, I'm really rooting for this little guy. It's not just
okay.
I'm biased.
I gotta know: is he going to be a ninja who's a farmer, or is he going to farm ninjas?
Yes.
I had a cousin who, when I was a kid, went through that sort of thing, and they really are so brave. I can't believe how brave kids are when they have to do this stuff. It's amazing. It's tragic, but it's also amazing.
Thank you, and also Redneck. Thank you for those kind wishes there in text. Thank you. And yes, thank you, all of you. This community is amazing. More than I could ever expect or deserve, and thank you all. That's all I can say. And again, Saturday evening, all of you beautiful people out there, raise a glass to yourself of whatever you're enjoying, your cup, your glass, your stein, your chalice, your tankard, your vessel of any kind. Enjoy, folks.
Yeah, man, I wish it was as good with words as he is. Oh man, I'm super jealous. But in Stardust, you made it back in plenty of time. Just
Thank you.
Yeah. Yes, I thank you for the speed of your urine. Great. Awesome. I'm glad we're
You should have bear down. No, I'm just kidding.
No, my ex-girlfriend, she used to pee so goddamn fast. I have no idea how she did it, but every time, I was I had to put a timer on you. How are you doing this so quick? She beat me every time. If we went to different public bathrooms, she would always beat me. I don't know. I feel like she was faking. And it still bothers me today. Any which way. So moving on. That was a weird sidetrack. All right, back to voting. So we are going to put on spooky music. Spooky music is on. So we're looking at the votes, and the top vote getter for this round. Man, this is actually interesting because it keeps changing. Usually it's just one person who's dominating, but it's not. We're bouncing back and forth here. And number one this round is none other than Ninetales. Ah, yes, it's you! Hooray! The shock look.
I'm kind of being phony. I kind of peeked.
Okay, sure. Fair enough. But yeah, Ninetales.
Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've gotten pretty strong support here. Thanks everyone for participating. Ninetales is number one. Kyo-san, number two. Still in the running there. Now the bottom two will be Redneck, the second to last, and then KOE Nation. All right, KOE's been struggling here. But let's see if we can survive. So now it's up to Ninetales. Between these two wonderful individuals, which one is going to go? So we're going to give them a chance to make their case. Redneck's kind of being clear, but I'll also give that chance if you like. Redneck, if you'd like to say anything.
I got plenty to say, but every time I say something, it's always the dog pile. I love it. It happens from righties and lefties. It's fucking hilarious. Yeah, kick me out of here because you don't want me to argue with your next points. You don't want to hear it. You don't believe any of it. You guys never do. You just want to get these little clicks and snips and, oh my God, he's so fucking cringe because look, he's saying something that's opposite. And then you motherfuckers turn around and go, oh my God, there's somebody saying something opposite. Why can't we get more of these people on here? Make up y'all's fucking minds. I don't give
You know
a
what,
fuck. I'm
Redneck?
going to
I
bed either way.
appreciate you. I appreciate you, Redneck. Even if we disagree, I think it's important that we disagree, and I think it's important that we have a talk about it.
I agree.
Now, in terms
Much
of
appreciated, much love. And as I said earlier, if you said that the word bitch offends you, then you will never hear me say it towards you or around you. That's it.
No, it's okay.
I talk that way. But
I
if I
don't
know I
mind it
offend somebody,
directed.
I don't direct it personally at somebody. It's just one of my tones. But don't shit down.
No, she's just having trouble with Discord.
Much respect. Much respect, though. Seriously. So if she's hearing it,
KOE, go ahead.
You know, it's once in a great while in a battle royal where somebody eliminates themselves and throws themselves over the top rope, but we've had it happen twice this evening, and thus far it looks like they've both been saving Phil KOE by the hair of my chinny chin chin. These folks eliminating themselves somehow. So I've gone on to the final. But I mean, this is like a Shawn Michaels like effort where I keep getting thrown over the top rope, but I pull myself back at the last second. And folks, it's amazing to be here. I hope to be here for the next topic. We will see what happens. Yes, I've been struggling, but it looks like I'm the comeback kid this evening, folks. We'll see what happens.
I just want to say, Redneck, I wanted to finish what sorry, like when I have camera on in Discord, it like randomly restarts. Redneck, I just wanted to say, I don't mind if you use the B word towards me, the bitch word towards me. I just get like, I guess I get like sensitive towards it. That's all. Also, KOE, you're
yeah,
an
I
OG.
said I apologized again just to make sure you know.
Oh yeah, no, it's fine.
What was that? What was that? I could say KOE on the what?
Oh, you're dope. You're dope as hell.
No, definitely agree.
I like you.
All right, so to move this along, I want to respect everyone's time. Nine Tails, you can just say it. You can just say it.
Yeah.
There's no suspense here.
Yeah, well, I'll make this quick. It was really hard for me to choose because while I love KOE and his charisma, it's just so good to rip on Redneck, and I really like. They're so good to rip on his points. I almost can't not. But honestly, it's between two conservatives, and KOE friended me on here, so I think I'm gonna keep KOE and pick Redneck.
There we go. All right, Redneck, please take a moment of your time to shout yourself out to the world. You can make a final statement. You can tell us all to go fuck ourselves, which I think it was already on your plan anyway. Redneck, please.
So it happened last night. It happened tonight. Even no matter what the platform agenda has set and the panelist that invites me on, it becomes a fucking shit on Redneck's take show. I'm okay with it. I actually enjoy this sometimes. I think my biggest problem with you younger generations, you millennials, you Gen Zers, us Gen Xers failed you. We fucking failed you because our boomer ass parents raised us hard. And then we felt, oh, we don't want to raise y'all as hard. We want you to be free at mind and not be whipped into submission. And we fucked you guys up. We really fucked y'all up because now you're applying every fucking thing. Like every spectrum of problems you want to throw at something because you got to find a victim. You have to be oppressed. You personally have to be oppressed some which way or how. And if you don't see your oppression in the situation, then oh my God, it's even worse. Okay. Remember a fucking mirror because every time I talk that shit, I'm going to bring it back to you the same way as a mirror. As dumb as you say I am, okay. But a lot of Americans, at least half the country, say you're as dumb as you think I am.
Okay.
I can't wait for you to try.
Fuck you. Redneck. Fuck you. You're cool. I'm out.
Redneck, Redneck's links in chat. Go follow him. Okay, great. So that's the thing that happened. All right, everyone. We are going into our final round. We are going into our final round. It's gonna be a short round, just 15 minutes. 15 minutes. So you got to be high impact here. That also means I can't let you all just like drag on. So just be aware of that. And this is going to be a tough question. It's going to be a tough question. So I'm just gonna So a trigger warning right now. I'm gonna give you a moment. Trigger warning. If you are a person who has some trauma, feel free to click away. This one is going to be on suicide. It's going to mention suicide anyway. So if that bothers you, please take a moment to exit. We'd love to have you back later on for the open panel. But if not, have a good night. So okay, trigger warnings out there. Here we go.
Okay, just going to point out that the American healthcare system really exacerbates the need for this because it makes people pay in order to not suffer, especially in the last years of their lives.
Well,
so
I haven't said that.
Wait, let him.
I haven't said that.
I thought you were. I'm so sorry.
And yeah, I didn't say anything. All right, so the topic: is it unethical to sell suicide paraphernalia such as suicide bags? Okay, so there's a product. I don't know what words to use it, but it's an item called a suicide bag, and involves placing a bag over a person's head, right? And like cinching it tight, and like you can also like pump a gas into it, like for instance like nitrogen or something, obviously for asphyxiation, but in any case that's what a suicide bag is. Just describing it, of course, just describing. Please don't use one of these things. But there are other suicide apps. This is not the only one. So other ways that people have been created to ease people's path. Is it ethical to be selling these paraphernalia? Not specifically like is it ethical to kill yourself, but is it ethical as a capitalist, right, to sell suicide paraphernalia? All right, 15 minutes left on the clock. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Alright,
so
so
the
one thing I
American
wanna-
healthcare
So
system
I-
only makes this worse. If people weren't having to pay to not suffer and survive, I'd probably be less inclined to think that they need a way out. Also, I just want to make a real quick thing. If you are feeling suicidal or that you know a friend who is, definitely get them help. Make sure they know that there are options, that there are people to talk to. They may not even feel like it's a solution, but just encourage them to get help. Or yourself.
So yeah, I would like to say I agree with Nine Tails on this. It's like first, I have so many issues with the healthcare industry, and as somebody who like has worked in the healthcare industry, and has seen it all my life, it is an atrocity. I think that we are horribly inefficient at authorizing. Insurance companies specifically are horribly inefficient. They will go through every step possible to make sure that they deny somebody coverage for the most like essential things. The amount of times that I've had to fight with insurance companies for like medically necessary treatments for patients, right? So when it comes down to it, and speaking to the capitalism thing, I don't know that we can really quantify that. We live in a capitalist system, so I think yes, we should allow people to be able to buy suicide bags. There is a certain point in which somebody's quality of life and living is it's so bad that dying is just going to be a better choice. If somebody can't live a life where their well-being and their happiness are adequately taken into consideration and cared for, then living is not worth it. Same thing with if they're being subjected to brutality over and over again and violence over and over again with no hope of ever leaving that, they should have the option to take an exit out.
So, like, I want to be really clear about something. People who kill themselves are significantly more likely to inspire others around them to kill themselves. A really interesting statistic on this is that if a parent kills themselves, a child is now 3 times more likely to kill themselves. A massive disparity, right? I have friends who work in the welfare industry, and one of them said that one of the statistics that they heard was that a child of a parent who has killed themselves is now at a 4% chance of not attempting suicide, right? I am nowhere near allowing these people allowing the government to allow these people to have any way of killing themselves, right? That comes down to suicide bags, that comes down to guns, that comes down to any of these things, right? We cannot have a creation of a spreading pandemic of suicide around people continually killing themselves because others have killed themselves around them, right? This is like an absolute tragedy. I don't know how we allow this. Right? We should be feeding into preventing this as many resources as possible.
Yeah, Keo, I like that response actually. It's a lot better because most opponents just say like, "Oh, life is precious and we need to maintain it." That's a really good reason in my opinion. And I'm a little bit on the fence about this. I lean towards being pro-assisted suicide, but if there's any argument that like I think is a good one, that's the best one I've heard so far.
Honestly, like, no, this is kind of strange, but like this is one of those few issues. There's only a handful of them where I'm sort of two minds about this because every moment that you're given life is an immense gift. There's, we've all hoped for some, some greater other time, but the life we have now is a tremendous gift that we need to very much cherish when we have it. But at the same time, I am a poker player. And when somebody wants to cash out their own chips, by God, that's their own right if they want to cash out their own chips. And so you can understand how I've been very much of two minds about this. Now, like there's things like these suicide bags and cyanide pills and stuff like that. Like, again, before we get it out of the way, every one of us, we all got several sad stories that involve this, if I just had to guess. But yeah, like I do know a very close personal friend who did use a cyanide pill of all things, and it was just like, where the do you even get one of those? But like, who would have ever thunk it? So, and that's one of those things that like I'm wondering, like, why are we manufacturing that? But when we were talking about guns, like there's other uses for that. People can use those for self-defense, for hunting, for sustaining your own survivability in a very low resource environment. So there's more than one use for those. So I get what you're getting at there. And we do definitely need to try and tackle suicide in that particular area, but there's more than one use for that. And I yield back to the two ladies down below that are raising their hands.
Yep. So I think Keo makes a very good point when it comes to suicide and mental health. I can't say I have an easy answer on that one, but the reason why I base my opinion that we should have people be allowed to end their own lives is because there are going to be people in this world, and there are people in this world who, no matter what, are not going to have any recourse, any option of having a better life. People who are having debilitating pain that is unresponsive to medication. People who have such a bad quality of life because of their medical conditions that they can't even imagine living a better life. Right? People who have no families and have been repeated victims of war and genocide. Right? These are people who generally don't have like a better outlook. And I think that it's important to give people just because also I'm pro-choice, right? And I think people should have autonomy over their own bodies. I think that people need to have. People are so sensitive about what happens to them after they die that people should have the ability to control what happens to them when they are alive. And if they choose to end that, that is their agency, that is their autonomy, and I am for protecting that.
Go ahead.
So one thing
Joe.
I'm just going to cut in pretty hard because I don't mean to be rude, but there's a limited time on the clock. So I would, of course, support euthanasia for people who have like chronic debilitating pain, who don't have any chance of having a better life, who might be suffering from like such terminal cancer they want to choose their life and end their life on their own terms. I'm perfectly fine with that, right? But this is medical euthanasia, and specifically what the question was asking about was like suicide bags and forms of suicide, right? That people are generally taking these options for like a mental health choice, and in that term, I think absolutely not. I think the state should absolutely intervene to prevent these kinds of these like suicide pandemics, I'm going to call them, from looking around and affecting everyone else in the community.
And that's a perfectly valid perspective to have. Like I said, I'm very much of two minds about this because, like you said, like, no, life is a precious thing. It is a self-evident value in and of itself. But again, like I do understand that, that there are instances where I do have enough imagination to at least fit, I can imagine an instance where someone might want to cash in their own chips. So can you at least understand where that perspective might be coming.
Yeah, so for the here specifically, right, I would advocate for having like government resources to help with these people. We should be able to have like a better mental health system, a better healthcare system, all these things to support these people. A lot of suicides to do with debt and money, right? So I'd like to see like government programs coming to support all of these people, like some like level of like stronger unemployment insurance in the US. Holy shit, your USC unemployment insurance is insanely bad. How the fuck can you only allow people to stay on unemployment for 12 weeks? I have no idea. That would be insane if you came to an Australian and told them, they would spit in your face, right? Like the level of social support and safety net for Americans at the moment is insanely low. And a lot of these like suicides are due to debt. And we understand that people who attempt suicide, a significant majority of them go on to never attempt a suicide again, right? These are spur of the moment decisions. And we should
terminally ill or trying to cash out. I'm just, like,
there are actually
I support medical euthanasia.
Let's go.
This isn't the same
there
as suicide.
are actually okay. So there are actually people who.
One second. We'll go Nine Tails, and then we'll go to you, Stardust, please.
Yep.
Thank you. And I am trying to give more people a chance to talk this time because last time I took up so much air. Yeah, just going to quickly rifle through all my points. I am with Stardust on this, that the pro-autonomy side is where we should go. However, I'm not going to lie, this is an incredibly difficult topic for me because I've both been suicidal and I've come out of it, and thinking about how I've really done it, that I wouldn't be sitting here right now talking with all these wonderful people makes me really, really sad.
We're very glad that you did. Thank you.
Keo,
we are happy to have you.
Thank you. Yeah, Keo is right. We need to lift these people out of their socioeconomic conditions if we're going to help them, and just providing them a way out is not necessarily helping them. But as Keo was going to point out, some people you just can't help because they have terminal illnesses and stuff like that. I think that this needs to be an incredibly regulated part of the medical ethics community. Incredibly regulated. Like people shouldn't just get a note from a doctor; they need a note from a psychologist.
I'm going to be a little bit rude.
Can I?
Sorry,
yeah. Finally, though,
go on.
yeah, I just want to address the medical bags thing. I don't like this simply because one of the difficulties it provides is that you can now it's a difficult to trace murder weapon. So you can kill somebody with that, and it's actually hard to tell if they committed suicide or if it was a murder. So I think it's very important that if we do this, we do it through the medical system, as flawed as it might be sometimes, and not provide like a consumer means of committing suicide.
Okay, to be fair, I was going to like say that. Okay, sorry, go.
So I see what you guys are saying, and I think that regulated euthanasia is probably the best. In response to the mental illness thing, I would hope that if somebody, I usually you hope that once somebody attempts once, they stop, right? But there are people out there who continue to attempt, right? And for people like that, they are experiencing an illness that is so debilitating that option to end their life has continuously been the better option than to continue it, right? As much as that pains me to say, people, if they are attempting over and over again, they should have the right with their body to do what they want. Secondly, being able to give people the option of euthanasia will free up so many health resources for us. People who are in long-term care, who can't do anything else, and who again, their quality of life is so diminished, right? So when we allow those people who want to end their lives, who want to go out peacefully, that frees up so many resources that can be used towards other people.
I'm just going to say, I cringed super hard.
Everyone agrees on euthanasia. Please, can we talk about the actual topic at hand? We've got 4 minutes.
No. The euthanasia was part of the question, was it not?
No.
Okay. Thirdly,
We gotta be quick.
Just
We
like
can't-
I know.
A lot of Monbaileys going on here. A lot of Monbaileys going on here.
You keep interrupting me, and I lose my point when you do that, and it's really
Stardust. We gotta move on. We got limited time. Gotta get rolling in. So we're gonna kill then KOE. All right.
So a lot of Monbaileys here is going on, and when we're talking about suicide, so it's like, if you don't know what Monbaileys is, look it up, please. We got time. So like people will say like euthanasia good. I already said that's the point, right? Everyone here agrees that euthanasia is probably a good policy point, right? Especially people with debilitating medical illnesses. We're talking about is people with mental illnesses, should they be able to kill themselves, right? right? Should they be able to create like spiraling like suicide pandemics? I would argue no, right? Like there are people that can get support. We need to like give more resources to these people, right? Because usually there's some underlying cause, and that underlying cause might be like chemical, and that in that case we can solve it, or it can be like mental or traumatic or like lifestyle solves. And in that case, we can solve it. We can solve almost all the root causes of almost all of these problems that are non-medical, right? To stop people from killing themselves.
Yeah, but we
One
can
of
also
them,
prevent the pandemic issue just by regulating things.
If I'm so sorry,
Just by what? Sorry.
One thing.
Just by regulating things.
Just to keep in mind, folks. One of the things when we're not talking about for medical reasons is what we often hear in these unfortunate cases, and it's one of the reasons why I think I don't think such a product should be available, but also one of the reasons why there is a pull for them, folks, is to keep in mind we always hear this person didn't want to live in this world anymore. Well, when they do that, what are they rejecting in the world? They're not rejecting the trees. They're not rejecting the mountains. They're not rejecting the streams. What they are, unfortunately, what we find ourselves too often is people rejecting the people in the world with them. So every one of us, every day, what I strive to do every day is try to be better to those around me. And you can, folks, that's really what we can try to do. Be good to those around you. Try to be just a little bit better than you are every day. And I yield.
Go ahead, Stardust.
Okay, before I was interrupted, I was going to say medically regulated suicide is still a form of euthanasia. If somebody is continuing to try to commit suicide over and over again, that is a medical illness, and that is euthanasia at that point. Secondly, people who are there are some people who their material conditions are not going to change. People who live in a war-torn country, right? People who are constantly being raped and constantly being abused by the warring forces around them, right? So I think that allowing those people to kill themselves is, again, freeing up medical resources that would be used on them otherwise.
Okay, so there's people.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe
So
it's
these
just my
people in those
personal
war-torn
preference,
countries,
but that's
please,
kind
this
of cringe.
That was directed at me. So so specifically, right, these people in war-torn countries and stuff, these are outside of like the US's domain. And what we should obviously be doing is aiming to prevent those problems, is to pull those people out of there. There are people we can pull out of war-torn countries. Let's focus on that policy instead of fucking selling them.
I would love to do that. I would love to do
that.
that. I would love to do that. But you know what? It takes a long time to affect those changes. I'm all for doing that, for helping those people. But you have to be realistic. So in the meantime, you let them kill themselves? Yes, because if you have to live for 20 years through consistent rape and genital mutilation and having your family killed, then yes, you should be allowed to put yourself out of that misery.
So
Although
that's the round. That's the round. Thank you very much. All right. That's it. But of course, once again, we want to say if you are considering that, or you know anyone who has been considering having those dark thoughts, please reach out for help. We have the National Suicide Prevention Hotline in the chat. I'll put it in there again. So use that resource. Use that resource. This is a tough topic, but I think you guys handle it really well. Thank you so much. Okay. So we're going into the final round of voting. So this is gonna pick the winner. We're picking the winner, right? Okay, right? So no more rounds after this. So you're picking whoever you want to win this competition. Now is the time. So we're gonna have them once again raise their hands. Let's go down the line. Start with KOE. KOE, make a final case. Make a final case to the audience before you doing.
Oh, folks, I really hope you vote KOE to be the champion of this particular Royal Rumble Battle Royal. It would be truly an achievement. It would be one for the history books, folks. You would all remember where you were the day Phil KOE won. It was an incredible time here on this incredible panel with you incredible people, and I hope that when the next time we all get together, we hear that you all had an incredible time. Folks, I am your King of Extreme, Phil KOE. Find me at KOE Nation on Twitch and YouTube. But God bless every one of you, and I hope to raise my hand high as the Prime K's champion.
Thanks so much. Oh my God, this is amazing. Kyo-san, good luck.
All right, so I'm going to give you like the good reason, right? In every single topic tonight, I have had easily the most based opinion, full stop, right? That everyone in this chat can fully agree with, right? I can't believe you crushed my heart like that, Basti. You've crushed it into a million pieces. I can't believe you've done this, right? What I want to see, like, you should be putting my face forward. There's a stream queen in front of all to see for the rest of the week, right? I think as a part of the beardness, as the tattoos, right? The fucking masculinity, the pure energy that I give out, right? The pure intelligence, the pure big brain takes. I hope that everyone has enjoyed the content tonight, and I have been very, very lucky to be very clear to have such fantastic interlocutors tonight. Oh my lord, you guys are fantastic. I apologize, I'm high energy. I am caffeine to fuck, right? My coffees are just like kicked in, like punching me heart going, all right? So I've loved being here tonight, and I love all of you. I love the Prime K's audience, and I love the people in this room, okay? So brilliant. Vote Kyo. Let's go. Vote Kyo. Let's go. Vote Kyo. Let's go. Vote Kyo.
I love it.
Just put an E at the end of that. Kyo E. That's all you need.
I wanted to go like oi, 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 oi as you were doing that.
That was really, really good. I think you did a good job following up the energy of KOE. So nice work. And to his point, the Stream Queen title, yeah, that was there the entire time. We've had some big streams, right? But that name, the name of your channel, gets to be in front of all those people. So like it's like recorded. So on Destiny's channel, on Bosch's channel, we had this video, and you're back Pastel Dallas. Her name was there for everyone to find. So there's a bit of advertising for all of you. So it, you know, the advertising space, free advertising space is all we can offer you here, actually. So yeah, there's a bit of value here. Okay, let's go. Ninetales.
Hi, I'm Ninetales. Hopefully, what people took away from this debate is like people like Redneck just do not do well around me. I prepped a lot for this debate, and I really hope that means a lot to you. If you want debates that are about the substance and not about politics or not about popularity, I'm your girl. Vote Ninetales to be the stream queen, and you'll be making my dream come true. I've been wanting to be Prime Stream Queen since it first came out, so please, please, please vote for me.
Awesome, yeah. And I think it shows you really prepared. Honestly, I think it did. All right, let's finish up with our friend Stardust. Stardust, please tell the world why you should win.
Hello. Yes, I'm Stardust, but without the vowels, because vowels are now non-PC, just so you guys know in case you didn't catch on. Secondly, you should vote for me because a vote for me is an endorsement for seeing me wreck myself later. I'll find a way to do it, but I will wreck myself on stream. Frick. What do I say? You should vote for me because I stream and I'm like a debate bro, kind of. And yeah, I know you guys are sick of debate bros, but I get such a hard on, dude. My dick is so hard right now. I love it so much.
I don't believe you.
And you know what? I love talking to people of all different political ideologies. And I change my opinions if I really am presented a good argument. So yeah.
Okay, all right. The die has been cast. It's all up to you. So putting the link in chat now. Putting the link in chat. Everyone, vote, vote, vote. Now's the time to do it. Vote right this moment. Put 5 minutes up left on the clock. For you to do that, now's the time. Jump on in. Link is in chat. Please, please, please vote for your individual. Remember, this is the one who's winning. This is the final round. So this person that you're voting, right? They will walk away with the title, Stream Queen. Help them out. Help them out. Now's the time to do it. Jump on in. Jump on in. Jump on in. And while we're waiting, of course, we'll jump back and help our good friend KOE once again. Exclamation point KOE in chat to find the GoFundMe page for KOE's young nephew who is going through childhood cancer. We want to raise money for him and his family. So hit that link. We've already crushed it. We've already hit the goal, but of course these people could use more because America is America and we don't have socialized healthcare. But you can do your part right now to help these individuals out. It's a very big cause, so please check out that GoFundMe link. If you have a few dollars ratting around in your pocket, this would be a really good cause to send that to. So everyone, once again, I'll put it in the chat. Help us out there. Also, on the other end, you can help out my channel.
Thank you, sir.
No problem. No problem. You can help out my
I
channel.
am in your debts.
Not at
Okay,
all. It's not. a
okay,
big-
chat. I've got to complain. Keo is winning. Do you really want Keo to be the stream queen, to be the next person
Yes,
to
you
go
do.
up against a redneck? Keo versus
Yes,
redneck. That would
easy.
be redneck. That would be
Easy.
an easy win for redneck. I am not
Get
an
out
easy
of
win
here!
for
I
redneck.
destroyed Redneck in this channel earlier. Okay, I blew
No,
that
I
guy.
did all the
That
heavy
guy has to
lifting.
go and get
I did
he has to go
all
and
the
get a
heavy lifting.
colonoscopy today after what I did to him. Okay.
Oh, okay, Mr. Muscle Man. Except I did all the heavy lifting there.
What are you talking? What? No way! Come on the vet bill stuff. I blew that guy out on the American Rescue Plan. Oh, that dude must be seething.
I don't even think he cared that you talked to him. But yeah, chat. I'm looking at KOE's donation page. The amount isn't coming up because of whatever loading issues. If we're not 11,000 yet, we need to be at 11,000 by the end of tonight.
Sure.
If we are at 11,000, then we need to be at 12,000. Okay, we can do this. We can make KOE's nephew a very, very happy and healthy child. And thank you so much to everyone who's donated.
Yeah, thank you. And thank you for that, Nine Tails. And God bless. And yes, we have actually passed that barrier. So thank you all so very much. I am very, very humbled this evening. And Keo, I will say, if it does end up going down where you win, rather than KOE being Shawn Michaels this evening, I am Kane from 2001, where I made it all the way to the end with Stone Cold Steve Austin, but then Stone Cold Steve Austin, and you're actually shaved bald, so it's perfect. Stone Cold stunned me and then threw me over the top rope. So I was happy to at least make it that far. And we lost somebody.
This isn't John 316. This is Austin 316. Wait. I mixed up my references. I'm a fake wrestling fan.
Oh no!
I do a much better Stone Cold impersonation.
Oh, you actually do, yeah.
Sorry, my Discord keeps restarting. Hey guys, just so you know, it's super close. You should totally vote. Maybe you want to vote for me. I don't know. If you don't, that's okay. But you know, it'd be super duper cool. It would be super cool if you voted for me.
Oi.
You know what? Fuck you, Kyo. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, let's do the redneck thing where we just give everyone the finger.
Yeah, fuck you guys. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
I'm loving this Stone Cold impression. I'm gonna be real. It's good. It's real good. I thought mine was okay.
If you want to see Phil KOE stomp a mud
Oh, dude, it
hole-
is so close. Come on. So close.
Come on. And folks, we can't vote late. It's not like Pennsylvania where they let the ballots come in days after. So we got to get the ballots in, the votes in actually on time. I know. Crazy concept.
I mean, seriously, I held my pee for you guys. This is the amount of respect I get.
No, this
It's
is
a
a lie.
level.
This is a lie. You
It's
went
a
pee.
level
Come
of
on.
disrespect.
You went
No, I
pee.
held
This
it
is a lie.
until I went and I peed. I held it until then.
Change it,
right?
moving the
But
goalposts.
Oh,
look,
Lord.
it's the level of disrespect that I have to deal with on a daily basis from you people. Just every day in and day out. I'm done with it. I'm done with it. I can't handle the amount of disrespect. It's just unbelievable.
Okay. Voting is almost done, guys. The link is in chat. Hurry up. Make yourself heard right now. Do it now. Or you'll be heartbroken later. I'll tell you now. People complain at me about like, oh, my favorite person didn't make it. Well, did you vote? Oh, I waited. Oh, I don't care.
Let me tell you something.
It's a level of disrespect. You know what? A vote for me is a vote to tell me to go fuck myself. How about that? Do you guys like that? A vote for me is a vote to tell me to go fuck myself.
It actually is close, chat. So make sure you vote for
Yeah,
who
get
you
in there.
want.
Jeez, we need. Okay, I'm super pro democracy. We need more votes in here, right? We need to get everyone voting. I am for fucking forcing the vote. All right, in
A
Australia,
vote for me.
we have forced voting, and we and we should be doing that right now. You should be getting out and vote, Kyo.
Don't
Let's
let those
go.
boxes
A vote for me is an endorsement for the entire U.S. military to come and show up to my door and exploit me of all of my natural resources. Do it.
Okay.
Honestly, I don't even care that I'm about to lose. Like, this has just been so much fun.
I've had a lot of fun too.
is
It's very
done.
fun.
It is done. Holy crap. The votes are close. Holy crap, the votes are so close. But everyone, this is it. Okay? If you didn't get your votes in, then you're gonna be heartbroken. Holy crap! Right now, it's tied. It's literally tied. Holy shit. Okay, I literally have to. All right. Here's what I'll do. I'll put one more minute left on the clock. I'll put one more minute onto the clock. After that, we gotta go. So one more minute left on the clock.
And your extension. It happened here, folks. You were here to see it.
Yeah.
To be clear, I'm the only one with the fucking with the power, with the courage, right, to take on all of these panelists. Every single one of them with agreeing,
Look,
right?
I actually gave a very hot take at the very end. You guys need to give me cred for my hot take.
No hot
I
takes at
gave
all,
a
right?
hot
Me and
take.
cowards are
People
all
should be
agreeing,
allowed to die.
right?
Some people deserve to die. You know what? Some people deserve to die because they want to die.
Give
So
this right winger credit. I double choke
Some
slammed
people
Doobie
deserve
and
it.
Redneck out of the match.
some people deserve to
double
die because they
choke
want
slammed
to.
them
Some
out,
people
so-
deserve to die. So I see it's not about letting people who want to, it's about deserve to. Okay?
They deserve to if they want to.
Oh, pivoting.
If they want to,
pivoting.
they deserve to
Pivoting back
die.
on the
Maybe
point.
I want to
I'm the
die.
only one with the bravery to say the truth.
You
that
know
we all
what? A
need to
vote
hear,
for me
right?
is a vote for me to hang myself on air in a video game. In a video game. In a video game. In a video game.
Holy crap, please.
In a video game. In a video game.
Disqualified.
Video game. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. I'm joking.
Five, four,
I'm joking. I'm so sorry.
3, 2, 1. All right, I'm gonna refresh the page, and whoever's at the top is
Fucking
the
fight.
winner.
Still tied.
And
Still tied.
Fucking fight me.
no, it's not. No, it's
No,
not.
it's not.
Oh, okay, good. Okay,
No,
good.
it's not. Okay, we have a winner. By one vote. By one vote. So what I tell you, right? Democracy matters. Like, this is an example. If you didn't vote, then you are heartbroken about who's gonna win now. Well, that's your fault. Okay, we'll start from the bottom. From the very bottom, the person who got the least amount of votes, but not by much. Not by much. Our good friend KOE. KOE, you lovable rapscallion. Thank you for being here. Really appreciate it. Yeah, that's been fantastic. All right, now let's go to the next person. That would be Ninetales. Again, Ninetales and Kaylee were actually very close, very close. But thank you, Ninetales, for your participation. Seriously, it's been a blast having you here. Thanks so much.
Thank you for having me.
And now, the person who is in the second runner-up, right? And I won't refresh the page again, so if you voted afterwards, I'm not going to see it. It doesn't dynamically update, which is convenient, actually. So our runner-up will be Stardust, meaning Kyosan is our stream queen. Hooray!
Let's go!
Streaming queen.
Congratulations.
But
But you know what? This vote has been stolen from me. And I'm gonna go to the state of Georgia, and I'm going to file a complaint with the manager. I'd like to see
We're gonna
I'd like
file a
to see the
complaint.
manager.
We're gonna stop the steal. This is tragic.
Stop the
Travesty.
steal,
It's a
dude.
Yes.
Okay,
Terrible,
all right.
terrible.
We win these!
I want you
Let's
to
go!
take a moment. You can take
I
a
want
moment.
to speak. I want to speak to the manager. I really do. I want to speak to the
We'll
manager.
get back to you soon, I'm sure. But I want you to take a moment to do a victory lap, buddy. Kyo-san, it's your time to shine as the stream queen. I didn't.
You were here to see it, folks. You
There
were
it
here to
is.
see it.
I'm the only one with the virality to make actual victory laps around my chair.
He even unplugged his headphones just to do it.
I did. I'm glad you noticed that.
I've been standing this whole time.
Amazing. All right, it's happened, people. You decided, or you didn't decide. You chilled out, you waited, and then now you're heartbroken that you didn't actually come out for Stardust when she needed you at the very last second. Seriously, if 2 more of you had voted, she would have won. That's what happens. This is what democracy looks like. So next time,
Totally okay.
if you're heartbroken about this, you know what to do. You gotta vote. You gotta vote. But this matters more than your local elections, of course. We want to thank Kyo-san. We want to thank KO. We want to thank Ninetales. Oh, we're gonna put all the links in chat. Once again, Stardust. Thank you for joining us. Link is
Thank
in
you for having
chat.
me. It's a lot of fun.
Absolutely.
I'll link my Twitter since I don't think you have it.
Okay, sure.
Look,
sure.
in the great marketplace of ideas, we understand that competition is king and that our opponents only help bring the best out in ourselves, right? I couldn't have won without having such fantastic interlocutors. Oh my gosh. Everyone made very smart and cogent points, was very enjoyable to engage with. I know it's a little bit yelly, so I apologize to all y'all here. But I really enjoyed talking to all. It was very, very fun. I especially love talking to Phil KW whenever I love this guy. He's my favorite by far. Best entertainer on Twitch, full stop.
KOE.
I don't know. Sounds bad faith to me.
KOE, do you want to throw your YouTube link in chat? My chat. You get free to do that if you like.
Let's see. I wouldn't even know how to do that.
Okay.
But just catch me at KOE Nation on YouTube and on Twitch, folks. All of you beautiful people. That's where you need to go after you've done that here at Prime K's and join him on the drive to 5,000 YouTube subscribers. Join me in the drive to 500 YouTube subscribers at KOE Nation on YouTube. Come on, folks. You know it's the right thing to do. Also, check me out tomorrow night, Revolutionary Wrestling Podcast. We will be on YouTube. We will be doing our reviews and predictions of Fastlane on the road to WrestleMania, folks. But most of all, thank you, all of you beautiful people, for helping my nephew's GoFundMe. Every last one of you is a blessing. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for being here. Raise a glass to yourselves. Thank you, all of you beautiful people. Your souls, mwah, mwah, mwah. I kissed them 3 times. Thank you.
Incredible. Thank you so much. Yes, the GoFundMe link to KOE's nephew is in chat once again. Again, if you have some dollars rattling around or euros, yeah, sure. Then go to that link and help out a very worthy cause. Help his nephew, who is unfortunately experiencing childhood cancer, but we can make a difference here. So please go to that link, help out. Finally, we have our stream queen, who a well fought match, I think. The stream queen's link is in chat. Final words.
Like I said, I couldn't put it better. I've already said thank you to everyone who was here. I just want to give a very special thank you to Prime. Prime is a fantastic pillar of our politics community, I think, who helps bring us all together and have interesting conversations and does fantastic work. One of the hardest working motherfuckers on Twitch. On God, this dude 7 days a week, 12 hours a day, fucking punching on so hard. I couldn't fathom having the level of work ethic that Prime does. Such a classy dude too. I couldn't imagine anyone better to be at the center tent pole of the politics community on Twitch, right? I love this guy, big fan. I love your work, mate. Really do.
Thanks so much. That's really kind of you. I only stream 6 days, but I do work the 7th to get ready for the next week. But seriously, thank you so much for the very kind words. It's awfully nice of you. Okay, to my audience, after this, what we're going to do is our open walk-on panel, as we always do, right? So the stream's not ending. The stream's not ending. I should have said that before because I'm sure many of you already left. All right, but still, the stream is not ending. We're going to have an open walk-on panel right after this. Any one of these amazing individuals, of course, is welcome to join us in that open walk-on panel. But if not, that's okay. Thank you for spending your time, your energy, your passion, your knowledge here with my community. I'm sure they appreciate it just as much as I do. Have a good one. Bye.